absolutely important is for us never to forget we are today the wealthiest nation in the history of the world. There is no excuse for 800,000 people to be sleeping out on the streets. There is no excuse for 20 million people, including people right here, paying 40 or 50% of their limited incomes for housing. This is America. We can build 4 million units of low-income and affordable housing. We can lower rents. This is America. We should not be the only major nation on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a human right. The function of a healthcare system is not to make billions in profits for the drug companies and the insurance companies. It is to provide quality care to all. We can do it. We do not have to pay 10 times more for prescription drugs than do the people in other countries. We can take on the greed of the pharmaceutical industry, cut prescription drug prices in half.
So, hey, Bernie, I have one question and one question only. That's true. Why haven't you done it? You see, this show may actually cause some people to feel like their toes are being stepped on. I'm not going to pull any punches because Bernie stepped into my arena by making this speech. AOC, his compadre, his communist partner, she stepped into my arena when they were making these speeches. So I'm going to take some people to school. I'm going to let you know right away why this thing, it makes no sense what they're saying. It's a tired message. It is the same old liberal, Marxist, communist trope that they, trot out there every couple of years. And now, after they got spanked on November 5th, you'd think they'd make some changes. Nope. These people don't have anything to offer the American people as a whole. If they don't have that core group of poor, communist, Marxist people, they have nothing. And unfortunately for them, the data, as we saw in November, isn't there for them. I looked at a video with Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen Reports. He's been on the show quite a few times. I was going to bring that out. And I'm like, no, I don't need to dig that far into the weeds. I'm going to come up topical and really, really explain to people why Bernie and AOC are full of crap, because it doesn't make any sense. And they're just gaslighting a whole new crop of stupid people and propping up and energizing the same stupid people. Yes, I said stupid. So I'm going to replay this, what he just said, and I'm going to stop and explain to you why he's full of crap. Let's listen again.
It's absolutely important is for us never to forget we are today the wealthiest nation in the history of the world. There is no excuse for 800,000 people to be sleeping out on the streets.
Yeah, there is. There actually is a reason why 800,000 people are sleeping on the streets. And I'm not going to check his number. I'm going to accept his number as real. The reason why 800,000 people are living on the streets is because they choose to. No other reason. We've seen, if we've seen anything in the last 2 months, we've seen how government has stolen so much of your money and given it away. There's programs here, there's programs there. You can get free this, you can get free that. You can get free places to live. Bernie, you stepped in it because I know for sure, because I've purchased and rented property to the government over and over and over and got those government checks every month because they were paying rent for people, quote, who were homeless. There is no reason why anyone is homeless except for personal choice. It's perhaps you don't want to check into a shelter because you don't want to make sure you're drug and alcohol free. That's your personal choice. The shelter is there. You can go to a soup kitchen and get food. It's a personal choice to live on the street. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can prove to you that it's just a matter of circumstance that someone's on the street. No, you can. Here in Boca Raton, one of the most affluent areas in South Florida, there are shelters. So don't let anybody try to make you feel bad that the poor people don't have any place to live. That there's 800,000 homeless people and they don't have any options. That's bullcrap. Absolute bullcrap. Ask people who know where the shelters are in certain areas. They can direct you if you need a place. Now, if you don't want to go there, if you don't want to follow the rules, if you think that's beneath you, those are all personal choices. The help is available. Now, if you don't know how to obtain that help, then your thing that you have to do is ask somebody, how do I find shelter? The easiest way is to walk by or call any church. They'll tell you, here's where the shelters are. If you don't want to call the state or the city or whatever municipality, walk into a church and say, how do I find some place where I can get a cot, some food, and a shower? Don't tell me people live on the street because they have no options. You're full of crap.
There is no excuse for 20 million people, including people right here, paying 40 or 50% of their limited incomes for housing.
Wait. There's no excuse for anybody to pay 40 or 50% of their limited income for housing. Have you never, ever done an income to debt ratio calculation when buying a mortgage? Have you ever done an income to debt calculation to see how your credit is? Well, if you haven't, let me show you, Bernie, because now I need to school you on this. Whenever you buy a property, they want to make sure you're capable of paying that property. Do you know what the national standard is based upon what the federal government has set up? Not by Barry's rules. Nope, not by my rules. By what the federal government has set up. Oh, let me share that with you. According to the federal government, and let me make this so you guys can all see it and everybody can actually follow along. Here we go. I can even zoom it in more so you guys can actually see this. All right. For a mortgage, a good debt-to-income ratio, a good debt-to-income ratio is generally considered to be 36% or less, with lenders often preferring ratios of 43% or less, and may even approve borrowers with DTI ratios up to 50%. I'm sorry, Bernie. I'm pretty sure you just said there is no reason for anyone to have to pay 40 or 50% of the limited income for housing, when that's the flippin' standard, moron. That is how the real estate business works. Based upon market conditions, things may vary in your area, but 40 to 50% is the standard set by the government in applying for a mortgage. Did you know that? Barry didn't make that up. It's right there. A good debt-to-income ratio, a good one, is 36% or less, with lenders often preferring 43% and some with 50%. How does Bernie not know this? I mean, he buys houses. Oh, that's right. He buys his probably with cash. But how does Bernie not know this? He knows it. In other words, he's lying. He is lying to broke communist people. You shouldn't have to pay for housing. Housing should be a human right. These people lie with almost every breath they emit to people they're talking to. And they're hoping you don't know. They're hoping you don't check. They're hoping you just can't do a simple Google search and look up bank rate or debt to income ratio. I am so over everything these people spew. It is absolute BS. And I want to say the real word, and I want to say it strongly, but I don't want to offend anybody on a Sunday. It's Sunday. All right, so understand, thus far, in a very short period of time, I've proven to you right now that this guy is lying to people. And let me just say this one time so it undercuts everything anybody may put in the comments. I am not talking about people who have afflictions or are disabled. That's a special category that we must take care of. If you have a drug addiction, you need to go seek help. Then you can begin your quest to find someplace to live. If you're disabled, then you should get as much from the government as possible to sustain yourself. Let me just put them off to, group B. Not talking about that. I'm talking about able-bodied, purple-haired nuts who think that I and you should be subsidizing everything that they have. You subsidize their food, subsidize their bus pass, subsidize their internet, subsidize their cell phone. They want it all. It's not my problem you went to school and didn't learn a craft or a major that would help you earn more. Bernie doesn't talk about that, does he? Nope, not at all.
This is America. We can build 4 million units of low-income and affordable housing. We can lower rents.
Hey, Bernie, never mind 4 million units of affordable housing. Let's take that statement in of itself. Just like the whole fair share argument. Could you please define affordable housing? What does affordable mean? Affordable to me isn't going to be the same affordable to Fred. Affordable to me isn't going to be the same as Susie. There is no one size fits all in regards to affordable. We're going to talk more about that in a second when AOC starts spouting her crap. But the first thing I want you to know is what's affordable. Determine what's affordable. We just saw what the debt to income ratio is. So affordable would be maybe at the lower end of that spectrum, maybe 36% is affordable. So if you make, $4,000 a month, then you should be able to afford, about $1,200 a month on someplace to live. It's affordable according to the debt to income ratio. So, but Bernie doesn't say what's affordable. Next thing he said, we should be able to build all these $4 million houses. Well, depending on where you are, Bernie, what's the cost to build one house? One. And when you answer that, I know you can't, because in order to answer that question, you'd have to, you'd have to know where, you'd have to know how big, you have to know what the composition is. Is it wood? Is it concrete? You'd have to know the configuration, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms. What's the cost of building one of these homes? They never say that. They don't know. It just sounds good. Everybody, we should build 4 million homes. Okay, let's go with the most nondescript house you could possibly think. And tell me what the square footage of this house should be that's, for one of the 4 million. 1,000 square feet? Is that what you want to build? Oh, by the way, you got to get the land unless you're going to put them on government land, and then you're going to donate the land. The land ain't free unless it's on government land somewhere. So Where are you going to find the land for these 4 million houses? Unless it is, of course, government land. So let's give him that. Let's say that, I don't know, we're going to put 4 million houses somewhere on government land. Well, how does that help the people of St. Louis? What do you mean, Barry? Are you going to ship them to some place where there's a lot of land? Because if they live in St. Louis, they probably want to live in St. Louis. You're not going to ship them to South Dakota on some reservation or some piece of land that's, here's some vacant government land. We can put them out here. They don't answer those questions. They think you're going to just put 1,000 units in downtown New York. Well, good luck with that. First data point is, what does it cost to build a house? And then who's going to do it? Is it private sector or is it the government? Let's not say government. You don't have the money. We may be the wealthiest nation in the world, but we're also the brokest. We're $1 trillion in debt. So it's a fake wealthy nation. So don't expect me or people watching this video to pitch in the money for 4 million affordable houses. So you're going to have the private sector do it. The people, who want to make money. What is the cost to build a house? Has anyone ever shown you this? Well, looking right now, I wanted to make sure it was there. Down here, the cost to build a minimal house, is $120 to $200 per square foot. Let me go ahead and show this to you. What the heck just happened? All right, okay, let's show this so everybody can see it. And again, this differs. In South Florida, building a house can range from $150 to $300 per square foot. And that's a bottom basic house. We're not talking a luxury house. So let's go with the 150. And at 150, we're going to build a 1,000 square foot house. You're at $150,000, Bernie. That's just the house. Haven't even got the land. Okay, so let's just go with the 150,000. 150,000 just at the cost of interest. Let's say you get it at a 6% loan and not pay any principals, just a 6% loan. Well, I could go to the amortization table and show you, but I'm going to make it easy for you. At 6%, you're talking about $8,000 a year, right? Am I right? Let me just make sure that my math is correct here, because I could be wrong, and I just want to point this out. Go to my little mortgage table thingy here, and again, I'm not using any interest. I'm just going to talk about, any principal. I'm just going to talk about the interest right now. 150,000 times 6% is $9,000 a year in interest. So let's go ahead and divide that by 12. So the payment is $750 a month with no principal. Oh, then you got property taxes, which we won't even count into this thing. So let's just stay with the $750 a month just for this affordable house. The cheapest house you can build in South Florida is going to cost $750 a month. Now, what do you need to make to afford a $750 a month, payment? If you can find it, which you can't, which I'm going to show you. All right, so $750, let's say you're supposed to be what? At 36% is the minimum? Yeah, so you're, hold on a second, let me do that. 750 divided by 0.36. Yeah, you're going to have to be making at least somewhere about $25,000, $30,000 a year. And that's without property taxes. That's without insurance. Everything these people say is complete BS. And the numbers don't lie. And remember, I didn't even put any principal in that. I just said $30,000 a year times 0.36 equals $10,000, which divided by 12 is 900. So you could afford it. 30 grand a year, you could afford a brand new house for $150 a square foot, provided somehow you don't have to pay any property tax, any principal, and no insurance. So Barney, tell me where you're going to build these 4 million units of affordable housing. You guys can do the numbers yourself. You can do the amortization. You can look at the cost of building in your own specific area. I understand Florida's a bit more expensive, but it's not that much more expensive to build a house. See, the expensive part in Florida is basically the concrete and the land, depending on where you're going to build a house. And you want 4 million of them? Who's paying for it? Who is going to pay for your pipe dream? How about the people you're talking to? How about telling them, go get a flipping job? How about work your ass off and get to the point where, you can afford this house? Well, they don't have the money for the down payment. Again, you're lying. Again, you're lying. Do you realize you can get an FHA mortgage? Trump hasn't touched that, with 3% down. So you could buy a $150,000 house and only need $4,500 down. Bernie, you stepped in it, man. I'm telling you, I can just keep going with this. We'll take some comments in a second, but I want to hear the rest of what he has to say here.
This is America. We should not be the only major nation on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a human right.
Guarantee as a human, I don't even know how he says, human right. Guarantee? What do you mean, guarantee? As far as I understand what you're saying is, you and I should pay for somebody else's health care. Now again, assuming they're not affirmed, not disabled, don't have a drug problem, why the hell am I paying for an able-bodied person's health care? When there's jobs available. I'm sorry if you don't like the job, but there are jobs available. And you hear these people, guarantee it. Who's guaranteeing my health care? Me. I am the guarantor. So everything these people say is nothing but communist Marxism B crap.
The function of a healthcare system is not to make billions in profits for the drug companies and the insurance companies. It is to provide quality care to all. We can do it. We do not have to pay 10 times more for prescription drugs than do the people in other countries. We can take on the greed of the pharmaceutical industry, cut prescription drug prices in half.
Now, where these people are wrong is, yes, we pay more for our prescriptions than they do in Canada. Yes, they do. And in Mexico. Maybe perhaps a lot of that's the regulation that goes accordingly to that. A lot of different reasons for that. That's something we could look into. Why does it cost so much more for American pharmaceuticals than other countries with the same drug? Perhaps it's your other problem of regulation. It's Mexico. We don't need to go through all these regulations. But at the same time, you want to make sure everybody's taking safe stuff, except when you forced everybody to do that and you didn't really care. He talks out of both sides of his mouth. And understand, every single person who's in business is in business to make a profit. There is no other reason to be in business. Otherwise, you become a nonprofit, a 501c3, an NGO. There's no other purpose of a business than to make money. How do you determine when someone's making too much money? That's none of your business. That's their business. I know some people don't like that. I know people think, oh, they're gouging and they're doing this. Don't shop there. If I go to a store and they're charging too much for something, I'm not going there. It's a personal choice. As for medicine, I agree. Our medicines are more expensive. That is something that we can look at as to see why it's more expensive. Not just say you can't charge this much. Why are they charging? When's that study happening? When are they going to dig into it and find out why pharmaceuticals in the United States cost more for the same pill? That is a study that needs to take place, not just blanketly saying, oh, they shouldn't be making profit. That's ridiculous. I got more on this. There's more. All right, so let me take a break and take some comments. How come he didn't implement these things over the last 4 years? Biden was essentially his puppet. Yeah, they can't. They couldn't do it under Biden because it can't be done. I just ran through numbers for you. They're not my numbers. If you can get all this data yourself, this is a lie, a scam that they're perpetrating on people. It's crazy. Nancy Pelosi needs to take the croak already. She's walking course. Buy the no-name brands, get on a budget. Bernie is talking about the low-income subsidized apartments that are being built in droves, especially here in Florida. He's not talking individual homes. He said affordable housing. So is he talking about those units? Well, let me tell you something about those units because, again, I own them. Well, used to own them. So I understand exactly what they're talking about. I was going to save it, but let me see if I can find. Let's see here. Yep, it's coming up. It's loading. Are you guys aware of what's called the Section 8 program? If you're not aware of the Section 8 program, let me enlighten you. Section 8 will say, you know what? You can't afford housing. So we're going to subsidize the housing, meaning the government, and we're going to pay the landlord. We're going to pay the landlord your rent. And we're going to make sure that your rent is covered. So all you have to do is find a property with the voucher we give you, and you tell the landlord, hey, listen, I'm good for $2,000 a month. Okay, I got something for you. And I can then rent that property to Fred and Sheila, and Fred and Sheila get to move into this property. They have to make sure they don't screw up the lease and they don't, do any bad things. Don't do drugs. I'll kick you out. But as long as you're a good tenant, the government's going to keep paying your rent. It's not up to me to determine how long you get it or how you got this thing. All I need to know is that you have a voucher. And you give me that voucher, and I fill out some paperwork, and I send it to the local HUD office, and HUD sends me a check every single month. See, you don't need to go out building a whole lot of these things if you just understand the Section 8 program. Again, but you have to make sure you keep up with the rules. I don't want any garbage. I don't want any cars parked on the lawn. I expect you to clean up, put the garbage out there. I don't want a whole bunch of people hanging out on my property. I'm renting it to you, not Bobby and Kelly and Leroy and Bubba. No. This is your home. Now, how do you determine how much these people can pay? Well, you can also add above the voucher. So the voucher is $2,000, and I'm going to charge you $2,500 because I can. It's my house. But here's what we're going to do. Every month that you pay $2,100, which is $100 over the voucher, I'm going to waive the other $4. That's called giving these people an incentive. But Barry, where are you getting this number? Well, there's another website you guys can all go to, and it's called the Fair Market Rent website. And here, you can just click here for fair market rents for 2025. Now, let me see. I'll just pick something in Florida here. Let's pick Florida. Let's pick Palm Beach County, just for fun of it. Fun and games here. Palm Beach County. And now we'll go to the next screen. And voila! Look what I got. So I'm going to buy a house right now. Let's do this in real time. It's like, wow. So, if I buy a house in 33401 and it's a 2-bedroom house, then the government's going to pay me $2,120 a month to put somebody in that house who otherwise doesn't have housing. Every zip code in the country is eligible for this program. Every. And as you can see, according to the zip code, amounts may vary. Here, 33414 for a 2-bedroom is $2,790. And so on. For a 4-bedroom, you can get up to, like on this one, this zip code, 33410, I can get $4,000 a month paid to me by the federal government. So all I have to do as a landlord is say, hey, listen, if I buy a house in that zip code and my monthly payment, my insurance, and my taxes are at $2,500, but it's 4 bedrooms, I could rent it out to somebody for $4,100. So I could make a positive cash flow of $1,500 to $1,600 every single month. Guaranteed by you and me. So don't ever tell me people can't afford to find housing. They're giving it away. Now, in certain areas, they have met their voucher limit, and they're not giving out any more vouchers, or they put you on a wait list and say you've got to wait until a new voucher comes available. But instead of building 4 million new properties, how about you just expand the vouchers? Oh, that would be like too easy, wouldn't it? Yeah, that'd be real easy. Hey, we only have, 2,000 vouchers available in Palm Beach County, and there's 3,000 people on the wait list. Maybe we should, instead of having this pipe dream of building all these houses, why don't we just expand the voucher system to another 4,000 people? Eureka! Problem solved. Problem solved. Provided the United States government has enough money. But in any event, as a landlord, this is just found money. Where's this one? 33414. Wait a minute. 33418. They'll pay you up to $4,400. $4,400 for a 4-bedroom house. So as a landlord, all I have to do is make sure that the house that I buy can be afforded for what the government will pay me. Well, Barry, why aren't you still doing that? Because it's a pain in the ass. That's why. You see, Bernie, you would make it so much easier if you, 1, expanded the voucher program, and 2, had some sort of remedial education program to tell people how to be tenants. Don't bring in drugs. Don't bring in guns. I don't want to see 8 pit bulls running around the house. It's someone else's property. They're providing you someplace to live for free. All you have to do is be a good, upstanding tenant. What? What's wrong? The ceiling's got a hole in it? What happened here? Well, Leroy came over, and when he came over, him and his brother got in a fight, and he threw something up there, and it busted it up in the ceiling. Oh, so I got to go fix it. That's what the government man said. What? The window outside's broken. The guys were driving by, and they were shooting, so we had to shoot back out the window, and we broke the window. I got to fix that. Yup. That's the problem with Section 8. That's the problem, is you've heard the thing about toilets and tenants. That's the problem with them. There's been no remedial education to help house these people who need housing. You know, when you buy a house and when you rent someplace and you put your name on the bottom line, you are responsible. When you don't have to sign for it and you're not responsible, you don't give a shit. I've gone into properties and I've looked, and there's a whole bunch of notes and phone numbers on the wall. They turned a wall into a stenographer's paradise. Hey, what's the name for Domino's? Oh, 1-800 buy a pizza. And the numbers are on the flipping wall. I'm like, y'all don't have a pad? Hey man, it stinks in here. Oh, the dog keeps pooping. Clean it up. That's the problem. Until we can fix the mentality of people, this problem is going to continue. I've been there. I've done it. It's lucrative until it isn't lucrative anymore. And you're like, I'm done with this. I am done with these people. I am done picking up and fixing up when they don't care because they're not paying for it and they have no skin in the game. That's when you just have to say sometimes, it's not worth it. So Bernie, spare me with the bull crap that you're speaking at these rallies, because it's not true. There is plenty of housing available. You got to fix these people's mindset. That's what has to change. You know, most of us grew up with a parent or hopefully two parents in a household who told us right from wrong. If you're out there taking poop out your butt and rubbing it on a Tesla, probably not the person I want in my property, and I don't care if the government's guaranteeing your rent. If you're out there spray painting something because you don't like Elon Musk, you're probably not the person I want as a tenant. If you found out that I voted for Trump, but you're living in my house so you trash it, you're not the person I want as a tenant. These are all the contributing factors, and I know it because I've lived it. Robin's lived it. My business partners have lived it. I'm like, burn it, sell it, do whatever you need to do. We're done with these people. The Democrats have cultivated the scum of the earth as their voting bloc. And you see it every single day. Every single day. I'll be right back. As you know, President Trump has assembled the Avengers to make America great again. And of course, we're all excited and ready to see them get to work. But with everything we're seeing right now, don't take your eye off the ball. Things could get much worse before they get better. With the possibility of World War III still looming, and with the Democrats doing everything they can to impede Trump, you still need to keep your guard up and your money protected. Oh, and our national debt is still massively increasing. Don't get me wrong, I have high hopes for Trump's America, but I also have a family to look out for. You see, Trump and the Avengers have quite the uphill battle ahead. That's why I'm making sure I'm protected, and I'm recommending that you do the same. One way to be protected is by diversifying your portfolio. That's why on this channel I've been happy to partner with Lear Capital. As you know, I've been involved in real estate for quite some time. And although I dabbled in gold and silver, Kevin and his staff at Lear have helped to educate me even further, especially in regards to silver. Give Lear a call today and they'll show you how easy it is to move some of your savings or your retirement account into gold and silver. Gold and silver have been proven to hold value and protect wealth for the long term. Call Lear today at 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com to get your free gold and silver wealth protection guides. There's no obligation, just free information. Many of you have seen my interviews with Lear founder Kevin Demerit, and I can tell you this company is solid and likes to educate their customers. Just so you know, Lear has over 27 years of experience, thousands of 5-star reviews, and over $3 billion in trusted transactions, and is the only company with a 24-hour risk-free purchase. You don't pay unless you're 100% satisfied. So call 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. And when you call, don't forget to ask how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold or silver with a qualifying purchase. So if you'd like to take advantage of this opportunity, please call my friends at Lear Capital at 800-601-5430 and tell them Barry sent you. I love it. I love it. I love it when I get comments that I realize people are upset, that their feelings are getting hurt, they're getting stepped on. This guy goes, please stop while you're ahead. You're making a fool of yourself. I'm not making a fool of myself. I know as soon as I get done with this show, I've got a great dinner to go to with my wife, and I've got some things I want to take care of with my grandkids. I'm going to walk my dog, and I'm going to live a happy-ass life. So no, it ain't me. I ain't making a fool of myself. I know what's going on. I've done it. I have actually done what I just said to you. And so, you know, many people are going to complain. I mean, I've seen some things in the comments here. Somebody said, my last landlord was unfortunately a slumlord because we found out our home had a long-lasting mold infestation that they covered up. My mom and I became homeless before she died. I live with a friend. Now, understand, when you do Section 8, that can't happen. When you do Section 8, before you can rent to a Section 8 tenant, they will do a pretty strong inspection on the property. I've had to basically change outlets in a house because it wasn't up to what their specs were. We've had to change screens on the outside of a window because you just can't have a window that opens. You actually have to have a screen. So there's a really big inspection, and mold is definitely one of the remediation things that they will have you go through. If they see some spots up there or stains on the ceiling, they will make you do or remediate it, fix it. So are there slumlords out there? Absolutely. Don't rent from them. In fact, do you realize that you can pay, I think like $150, $200 to have something inspected yourself? Before you move into something, you can like, hey, I'm going to get this inspected. Just like when you're buying a house, you can actually have somebody come inspect it. They'll come and they'll give you a report. Hey, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. You should have the landlord fix this. Landlord doesn't fix it, don't move in. It's really that simple. So it's funny. Common sense, yeah. Many years ago, I got a Section 8 house in the country, 4-bedroom brick for $29. That was a long time ago. And I had a job and 4 kids. New housing was built for low income here, and they spray painted all over and trashed it. I told you a story how my dad started his construction company. His construction company was going into the hood and renovating projects. And it was constant money because every single year they'd have to call him and do it all over again. That's how he got started. Those were his first jobs. He's like, wait a minute, so you're going to let these people just destroy this place and then call me and have me and my boys go ahead and fix it every single time somebody moves out? Whew, this is a cash cow. It's educating people to understand the value of what you're given. You're giving keys to someplace. You're giving keys to somebody else's property. And the only thing you're paying for that, the only thing you're providing as your currency is to be a viable tenant. Don't be a dick. Or the other word. Just do what you're supposed to do. And it's crazy. Truth Matters said, I've been a landlord for decades. The majority of those that I rented to were leeches and destroyed the place and were insulted to have to pay rent. Not all, but most, exactly. So that other guy who says, stop because I'm making a fool of myself, I'm sorry, I've actually done it. And people like Truth Matters, he's actually done it. It's not something that we're not just speaking off the cuff about. But in any event, what I wanted to say, what Bernie said, was complete crap. Now let's go on to his compatriot here.
So let me share with you exactly what I mean. Because when they like to call us radical, and what they like to call me is radical, I believe is common sense. I believe that when a person gets sick, they shouldn't go bankrupt in the wealthiest country in the history of the world.
I can agree with her on that. You shouldn't go bankrupt. Your medical bill should be affordable. I mean, God knows with what I had to go through with Robin, if we didn't have primo insurance, yeah, it could bankrupt you. So I will agree to that. I don't agree to that I should have to pay for it, but let's let her continue.
Common sense. I believe that a minimum wage should cover the minimum cost to live.
And now you're going to call you for what you are. You're full of crap. Again, size varies. Different things. Look in your rearview mirror. Things may be different where you are. So she said that a minimum wage job, cashier at Walmart, should be able to pay for your rent. Now, I just went through the whole Section 8 rent, which said rental system, which told you how much you can get if you can't afford it. So she's talking about someone who doesn't want Section 8, that they should be able to get whatever they want as well. There was somebody who posted earlier, and I had to call her out for this. This woman here, Nina Turner, who was a Bernie person years ago. The cashier at Walmart should be able to afford rent, groceries, a car payment, and have some to save on their paycheck alone. That's not radical. That's absolutely radical. The cashier at Walmart gets paid, as I wrote here, the cashier gets paid for availability and performance. I don't say, okay, excuse me, I'm looking to hire you. Tell me what your bills are so I can make sure what I pay you covers your bills. Said no employer ever. And will never be said by any employer ever. This is what we pay our cashiers at Walmart. You need to do whatever you need to do. It's not my job as an employer to make sure you have a car, groceries, and can afford your rent. But let's just say, we can look at things here, and let's just say you want to, work at Walmart as a cashier and be able to live. Let's look at this fallacy, okay? Let's look at here. All right. So, again, this may vary where you are. The average hourly pay for a Walmart cashier in Florida is $16 an hour, which is 20% above the national average. Do you know why a cashier in Walmart here in Florida gets paid $16 an hour? Because availability. They need the people. The market demands it. Not because they feel bad about you not paying to pay your rent. Because, hey, it's competitive. And in order for us to compete with Wawa or Publix or Winn-Dixie or Aldi, we got to make sure we pay competitively. That's called the fair market. So $16 ain't good enough for these people. Now, I understand Walmart may not pay everybody a full 40-hour week. They may say, listen, we're going to keep every at 30, all these different things. But let's just say you get a job, and that job pays you $16 an hour for 40 hours worth of work. Shall we go to the computer or the calculator? Okay, so let's go ahead and look at 40 hours a week, which if you're working 40 hours a week, you ain't gonna make it. 40 times 16 is $640. Times 52 weeks, that's $33,000 a year. Oh, you don't get to take home all of that because of what? Taxes. She didn't mention that part. She didn't mention anything about Trump's proposal to possibly do away with income taxes. Oh, no, we can't do that. So this person who's getting $16 an hour is making $640 a week. Okay, $640 a week times 4.3 weeks per year, and they're making $2,752 per month, less taxes. At $2,752 a month, $2,752, and we just saw the debt to income ratio times, let's say 40%, as $1,100 a month for your rent. Wow, but Barry, are there actually places where you can rent in South Florida for, I don't know, let's look here. Are there places you could rent in Boca Raton for, I don't know, maximum of 1,100, say 1,200? Wow, there are. You can get this lovely place here, $895 a month. It's a 1-1. This one here, 1-1. What do you mean? You can see all 6 photos. There's a stainless steel sink with a granite countertop, and there's a bedroom, and it looks like it's got clean wood flooring. There's your bathroom down here, and it's only $895. Wow. I thought you couldn't find any place to live. I just showed you a place in arguably one of the most expensive real estate markets in the country. This one you can have for $1,200 a month, right about at the limit, right about there. This one's a 1-bedroom, no bath efficiency with water and electric included. And you get a nice private yard. So what's the problem? Walmart's paying $16 an hour. And in that $16 an hour, you could afford this $1,200 a month apartment. And that's just on your first job. Huh? Yeah. If you want more money, go work a second job. I did. My wife did. Many people I know did. In order to get to where you want to get to, you got to bust your ass. So let's say you make $640 a week on your main gig, working 40 hours. Well, you know, you're probably by yourself. Hopefully you don't have any kids on $640 a week. But let's say you're okay. It's you and a roommate. Oh, now you can afford a much better house. But let's say after Walmart, you have a gig at Wawa, even 3 days a week, paying you same thing, $15 an hour. So you make another, $250 a week. Now you're all the way up to almost $900. Now you're making over $3,600 a month. Yeah, you can afford just about anything. So she's completely full of crap.
Common sense. And by the way, we should see that not paying a living wage is also a form of corporate welfare and looting. Because big companies like Walmart and Amazon often rely on the food stamp program and public coffers to cover the wages that they won't pay.
Yeah, tell them. You tell them, girl. Walmart, bad. They're paying $16 an hour in South Florida. Cash. No benefits. I mean, in terms of, they're not using your SNAP. $16 an hour is a living wage. $16 an hour. What do you expect for someone who's a cashier? There's a reason why they're a cashier. And that's pretty much a whole different conversation. It's called life choices. But in any event, you can make $16 an hour down here working as a cashier at Walmart.
I believe that homes are not slot machines for investors and Wall Street to extort.
I believe that homes are not slot machines. Well, guess what? It's called a commodity. You see this thing? This is a cell phone. This thing called a cell phone, you can choose to buy it, or you can choose to buy this one. I mean, these both happen to be Samsungs, my second phone. Different phones. You can buy an Apple. You can choose to them. And you know what else? I can open a store and I can sell them. Real estate is a commodity. The day you decide that real estate can no longer be a commodity is the day you will not have homes for anybody. Just let you know that. There's people like me and people probably like some of you who buy things because we're looking to, quote, what's that word? Invest. Because we want to continue making more money. And so we buy these things with the promise that if we uphold everything and the government does what they're supposed to do, we can make more money. Is it a slot machine? No. You know why? Because it's not a gamble. It is a business. That's what these people don't understand. They think we're buying property as a gamble. No, we're making agreements. We're talking to a bank or an investor and saying, I'd like to buy this house. What would you lend to me in order to buy this house? I will agree to that, and I agree to make this payment. There's no slot machine there, you moron.
Working families out of every last dollar that they have. A home is sacred. And when your landlord jacks up your rent by half overnight, or housing prices skyrocket because Wall Street treats our housing market like a casino, your government should fight for your ability to keep an affordable roof over your head.
Shoot, I forgot to turn on my damn thing. Okay, it's on. I don't know how long I've been talking, but I'm sorry. This shit works me up. So, you know what I'm gonna do? Just for you, I'm gonna push back because nobody told me, and I want you guys to hear what this woman's saying. I don't know. I think it was off since the commercial, but anyway. All right, let's do this.
So let me share with you exactly what I mean. Because when they like to call us radical, and what they like to call me as radical, I believe is common sense. I believe that when a person gets sick, they shouldn't go bankrupt in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. Common sense.
And what I said when she said that earlier, sorry it was off, I agree. I agree you shouldn't have to go bankrupt because you got sick. And I've had some things I've had to take care of with my wife that I know if I didn't have the top level insurance, we would have been in trouble. I understand it, but I shouldn't have to pay for yours. See, that's a different thing. We need to figure out why things cost how much they do, why things are billed the way they do. I don't think that should be a death sentence because somebody gets sick. So I do agree with that. That's not socialism. That's just like, why does it cost so much if people get sick? But I don't think you should have to pay for it.
I believe that a minimum wage should cover the minimum cost to live. Common sense.
So I don't know where the sound went out, so I'm going to do this all over again. I'm just going to do it real quick. Down here in South Florida, if you are a person working as a cashier at Walmart, right now, you will be paid in addition, in the neighborhood of $16 per hour. If you're getting paid $16 per hour, you're making $640 per week. At $640 per week, you're making over $33,000 a year. Based upon the previous slides when I showed you the debt to income ratio, at that point, you should be able to afford easily a $1,200 a month apartment. That's if you live by yourself, and that's if you haven't got a second job, which you need to get if that's all you're making. I had a second job. At one point I had 3. Robin had a second job. She was a waitress and a server as well. If you need more income, you work more. It's that simple. If you need additional income, you should work more, period. It's not the employer's position to have to pay you. But one of the things she said is, you should be able to afford it. So what I had showed you guys was, and I don't know if the mic was on during this point, is that if you can afford a $1,200 a month apartment and you're making, $3,000 a month, even working as a cashier at Walmart, here's an apartment, $1,200. It's an efficiency, 1,300 square feet with a side yard. It's available. You can find someplace to live even in Boca Raton. There's no reason why you can't find a place to live. This one here I showed, I hope my microphone was on, but I'll show it again real quick. $895. This thing's a bed. It's a 1-bedroom, and I showed the pictures. It's a small kitchen. Here's the bedroom, and that's it. You can live there. People fall on a crutch and keep saying they can't afford it and they can't do. No, they're lying. They're absolutely lying to people when they say they can't afford it, and trying to say that here in Walmart you can't survive and Walmart should pay you more. Get a second job. We all did it.
And by the way, we should see that not paying a living wage is also a form of corporate welfare and looting. Because big companies...
Looting. You're stealing from somebody if you don't pay them a living wage. Why is that?
Like Walmart and Amazon often rely on the food stamp program and public coffers to cover the wages that they won't pay. I believe that homes are not slot machines for investors and Wall Street.
All right, so again, she stepped into my lane just like Bernie did. There's no such thing as a slot machine. Real estate is a commodity. What I was doing when I was holding up my phones is like, here's a commodity as well. If I decided tomorrow I was opening up a cell phone store, I would have to buy the inventory of cell phones to be able to sell it to the public. And I could have different models. I could sell them this model as well. And say, listen, I've got different things I can sell you because they are commodities. The day you make real estate a non-commodity would be the day this entire country just goes bankrupt. She may not like it, but real estate and land are commodities. They've always been, and they are an integral part of our economy. By trying to see what she's doing, her and Bernie are trying to bankrupt America. And what I also said was, maybe she doesn't know who Liz Warren is. Maybe she doesn't know who Bernie Sanders really is. Maybe she should go ask them, hey, Elizabeth, how did you make some money? And Elizabeth Warren would have to tell her, yeah, I've been flipping properties for quite some time. Bernie, how did you make some money? Well, I bought real estate here and there, and it's appreciated, and now I'm worth X millions. It's not a slot machine. It's an investment. It's like gold. It's like anything stock. It's something you've chosen, your vehicle, to try and promulgate wealth for you and your family. If they try to take that away, which they wanted to, Obama wanted to do that as well, there's nothing left in our economy. It falls completely apart. Then you would have communism. Remember what they wanted to say, what they wanted everyone to believe. Do you remember the mantra? You will own nothing and be happy. You will eat the bugs and live in the pod. 15-minute cities with these pods all over the place. They don't want personal wealth. This is the first chink in the armor that they're trying to break. If they can break that, if they can get these people to think that you can't buy and sell real estate, we're done. Done as a country.
To extort working families out of every last dollar that they have. A home is sacred. And when your landlord jacks up your rent by half overnight, or housing prices skyrocket because Wall Street treats our housing market like a casino.
Okay, so what I had also said when my mic was off is nobody I know ever has jacked up the rent 50% overnight. And if somebody did that, they should go to jail. Period. Nobody says, you know what? It's April 1st and we're going to just make the rent 50% higher. Doesn't happen. It does not happen to somebody who doesn't want to end up in jail. So that's BS. As the other part she said about its extortion to buy and sell real estate, I just explained that. It is a commodity. It is the foundation of our economy. Don't like it? I'm sorry, it is what it is. Donald Trump himself, Elizabeth Warren, and Bernie Sanders all agree. I'm pretty sure Nancy Pelosi agrees. She owns a whole bunch of property. So what she's saying here, again, is reaching a market of about this big. These people who don't know any better, who think that it's the man who's using, using real estate as a casino. I hate to say this, but it must be said. It's not your home until somebody rents it to you. And rent is based upon the market. It's not because somebody wants to or does not want to. It's the market. If somebody's willing to pay $1,200 a month for that apartment or efficiency, then that's what it'll be. If somebody says, the market says this thing will not sell or rent for $900, it'll drop. The market will determine that. Let me just show you that, just to make sure. Not make sure, but show you something. This is the rentals up to $1,200 in Boca Raton, and there's a total of 2, and that's it. That's it in the whole area. Now, let's say I change that and go to, I don't know, Fort Lauderdale. Let's try that. I bet you there's going to be a whole bunch more. Fort Lauderdale. There'll be a whole bunch more. Bam. There's a whole lot of rentals. There's 19 rentals available in Fort Lauderdale under $1,200 a month. You got a studio here, a studio there. You got a 1-bedroom right there, another 1-bedroom, one bath. This one here is is on 6th Avenue. Not the nicest part of town, but you'll have a place to stay. It's $1,100, $1,200 a month. And what I always like about Zillow, and let me see if where it shows it here. Oftentimes, it'll show you how long it's been on the market. This is a very interesting thing that people should look for. So this thing here was listed on February 27th. You guys all see that? It was listed on February 27th for $1,300. Didn't move. So on 2/27, he relisted it for $1,300 again. Then it didn't move. On March 4th, he dropped it to $1,250. See, the market is determining the price. Nobody wants it at $1,250. Now, on 3/12, it was dropped to $1,200. I guarantee you, seeing the movement on that listing and how they're chasing the market down as they started at 13, now they're at 12. I'm pretty sure if you put an offer in at about $1,000, they're going to take it. The market is proving the value of that property, not AOC and not me. So my negotiation going, I'd probably start at $900, hoping to settle at about $1,000. That's how this works. It is a commodity. It's not extortion. It's not extortion because you don't have to take it. You can actually say, I don't want to pay $1,200. Okay. I don't want to pay $1,100. Okay. What are you willing to pay? I'm willing to pay $900. Looking at this chart, and you can see right here, there's a reason why Zillow and these other sites list this. So you can see, it's down 3.8%. Now it's dropped to -4%. You can use that data to determine what's best for you. The landlord understands it's coming down. I shot too high, and I'm going to keep backing it down until I get enough calls and somebody says, yeah, I'll take it. It's not extortion because nobody's forcing you to take this. So what is she talking about? What are these people on the left even talking about?
Your government should fight for your ability to keep an affordable roof over your head. And finally, I believe our elected officials should take on abuses of corporate greed everywhere they find it. We must get big money out of politics and make clear that our country is not for sale.
Does she know that guy, George? You know, his last name's Sorrow or something. Does she realize that people can pull donation list and see what corporations are donating to who? Does she not understand that? Well, yeah, she does. It's the idiots she's talking to who don't. They think about Elon. They don't think about the other guy because it's okay with him. It's okay for him to do it. And I also like to ask her, because it's sort of like the whole fair share argument. Can you define corporate greed for me? I'm just asking. What is greed? Because I'm pretty sure the landlord of this property, if it's owned by a corporation, is seeing his investment drop. It's going down ever since they posted it. So, is it greed or is it marketability? Is it the market rate of what's happening?
Because Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security were promises that we as a people have made to each other about the kind of country we are and the kind of society we want to live in. And I don't know about you, Arizona, but I want to live in an America that guarantees health care to every person.
Wow, it's funny how she said that and they're all cheering the nuts behind her. The word guarantee should be defined by these people. Because what she's saying, and they don't even realize it, is that you're going to be paying for it. You're going to be paying for the people in that audience that are cheering. That's what she means by when she says guarantee. The government doesn't have any money. The government doesn't create any money other than the printing stuff they do. Everything the government has to spend, you've learned in the last 2 months, comes from you. So what she's saying is you should be guaranteeing all these people behind her health care. You should be paying for it.
I want to live in an America that has a living wage for every person.
These people are nuts. That's why they look the way they do. I mean, that's the biggest thing. That's why they look like they do. They've been waiting for this nirvana forever. Oh, we're going to get free health care, and we're going to get free housing, and we're going to get free food, and we're going to get free internet. Everything's just going to be guaranteed and free. Who's paying for it? The government. Who's paying the government? Oh, that's where it all falls apart.
I want to live in America where you have free speech to express yourself and not be afraid of getting put on a list or deported.
I just had to check the chart. American citizens don't get deported. American citizens don't. What? Why are they cheering? What sense does it make? None. Again, the Democrats have nothing but lies.
But these promises that we've made, they are not promises from politicians to the people, or they're not charity from billionaires to everyday Americans. They are promises we have made to each other.
I know. I stop it because nobody else is. They put this shit on network television, and nobody ever talks about it and says, what promise have you made to pay these people's rent? What promise have you made to guarantee that they have a living wage? I haven't made that promise, nor would I ever. But that's what she keeps saying. She says that we, Americans, have made that promise. No, I haven't. Never. Have you? Let me know. I'd love to know if you made that promise.
Neighbor to neighbor, friend to friend, teacher to student, family member to family member. That we want to live in a society that is not depraved, not every person for themselves, but...
Wait. I want to live in a society that's not depraved. Turn around. Turn around. Look at these people. They're freaks. What do you mean not depraved? You write this stuff not realizing who's sitting behind you. Except for Sally, who used to be Sal, and Frederica, who used to be Fred back here. Other than those people, everything's fine. Or the people who are walking around with dog masks. It's not depraved. Oh, it's you Christians. It's you Christians. You're the depraved people out there. She actually said that with a straight face. She actually said that with a straight face. Wow.
us standing together. This is the promise that we make to each other as Americans.
This week, the president called to impeach a judge who ruled against him on...
Before we get to Chucky, I'm sorry if I went a little bit... I really apologize for the mic not being on. I hate when that happens, but sometimes it's just too much. I hope I've shown you these Democrats have nothing. And that last thing she said was just the penultimate. That depraved? Depraved. Your entire party, the trophy of the Democrat Party is being able to have baby removal up until and past birth. Depraved? You're the ones who want to have boys and women's sports. Depraved? You're the ones that want to turn people into something else. Depraved? I could go on and on. And, you know, when you sit here and look at the crowd that's sitting there, you realize they don't realize that they are it. They are the people she's saying we are. I'm not depraved. When you're speaking to this element of society and you don't expect them to ever respond and look in the mirror, when you don't expect people to actually take personal accountability, it's easy to lie to people because none of them will ever accomplish anything. Again, you've seen what they're doing. They're walking around and they're spray painting stuff. And there was a guy who walked around at one of the rallies and just kept asking people, what are you protesting? And I've yet to see someone able to answer. Why are you here? What exactly is Elon Musk doing to you? What is it? Why are you upset with Donald Trump? What's he doing? How does anything that the president has done affect you? And they can't answer. That is the surest way for you to know that these people are bamboozled, propagandized, and completely gaslit, even to the point of possibly being brainwashed. I remember when Obama won, and you know, it was horrible. I cannot believe he won, but then again, Mitt Romney sucked. And I thought to myself, all right, I sat down with Robin, how do we Obama-proof our life? And that's when I started buying Section 8 homes. Because I knew, based upon what his agenda was, all right, we'll start working on that agenda. They don't need to know. They don't need to take off your hat. You know, don't wear anything red. Hey, I'm a black man. I'm going to buy some houses in the hood. And it was fantastic. Because I did what I had to do. These people, I didn't break anything. I didn't burn anything. I just sat back and go, you're in real estate, so what do you need to do to change up here just to make sure you're okay moving forward? Get some Section 8 homes. Boom. It really is that simple. I'll be right back.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
All right, so there's a comment that came in, and I want to address this comment. 3 Giado. Don't say Obama-proof if you don't like Trump-proof. Not really sure what that means, but let me just try to dig into that a little bit. When I said Obama-proof, it's because I knew the different things Obama was going to try and do because he was president that could affect my business and my finances. And so I said, okay, again, like I've said many times on this show, don't skate to where the puck is, skate to where the puck is going to be. I knew, because of what he had said on his campaign, that he wanted to put more money into affordable housing. I knew that Section 8 was one of the affordable housing things they were going to try and do. And so what I said was, in terms of Obama-proofing, is I'll let him pay me. If you were going to Trump-proof yourself, what are you going to do? Because to Trump-proof yourself, you're like, he wants to pay less taxes. No, I want to pay more. Okay. He wants to build a better military. No, I don't want it. He wants to get rid of newcomers. It doesn't really make any sense if you're an American. Why would you even have to Trump-proof yourself? You'd want the stuff that he's doing. Unless, of course, you want more newcomers and you're going to fight for that. Or if you just, want to be able to pay more taxes, be my guest. You don't have to Trump-proof it. You can just do that on your own. Anytime you want. Let's see here. Forever who asked about my comment about AOC hired an undocumented guy. It was also talked about. Yes. She hired a guy who self-deported. Yep, she sure did. Jesus Barry is talking about how adjusting to how the country is going to swing based upon the new president agenda. Yeah. I don't understand how people don't get that. Excuse me. Let's see. Is tonight's show just a real estate seminar? Only if you take it to be, and it was free. So, not really sure, Jay, but if you don't understand the viability of what these people were saying, and you think it's okay that, real estate should not be commoditized, yes. Then take it for what you want. Either way, I don't care. I'm telling you what I think, and I'm hoping I'm giving a justifiable basis for other people to understand certain things about the business. If she and Bernie can go up there on stage and talk about how it's bad, I can most assuredly talk about how it's good. Crazy. We need to be careful if the huge amount of newcomers that have that have very different beliefs and will vote Democrat. Absolutely. Let's see what else here. Higher gas prices, higher egg prices. Why isn't she in jail? Yeah, that's what they wanted before. I remember paying so much. Don't complain about free things, Jay. It's funny. I laugh at that, at his thing. It's about talking about the real estate stuff, not realizing how much I used to charge people to teach them about real estate when I actually did my seminar days. Oh, those were fun days. In any event, let's continue with some more stupid Democrat stuff.
This week, the president called to impeach a judge who ruled against him on deportations of alleged Venezuelan gang members, as you know. Supreme Court Justice John Roberts released a rare statement rebuking the idea of using impeachment to settle judicial disagreements. Some constitutional scholars and fellow Democrats, Leader Schumer, say this is a constitutional crisis. Do you agree? Is the United States in a constitutional crisis?
Yes, I do, Kristen, and democracy is at risk. Look, Donald Trump is a lawless, angry man. He thinks he should be king. He thinks he should do whatever he wants, regardless of the law. And he thinks judges should just listen to him. Now, we have to fight that back in every single way. And we actually have had over 100 cases in the courts where we've had a very good record of success. So Donald Trump, infuriated by that success, said judges should be impeached. Let me tell Donald Trump and the American people, Democrats in the Senate will not impeach judges, full stop.
President.
Look.
Okay, so now that you've told us that that's how it's going to be, and then the other video the other day, you told us how you put 200 judges in there to do specifically what you're doing right now, I think Donald Trump just needs to just go ahead and ignore them. I'm going to prove to you in a little while that that is exactly the course of action to take place. These people have no legitimate means of doing anything. All they're trying to do is just slow him down. And Chuck Schumer's trying to save some face with the Democrats and come across as a tough guy. He just looks stupid.
This is an extraordinary moment. It does require extraordinary action. If he defies the Supreme Court, then we are in uncharted territory that we haven't been in for a very long time. And our entire democracy, this whole beautiful enterprise of democracy that we've had for over 240 years, is at risk. And look, I believe that if Donald Trump should defy the courts, the public will rise up. Democrats will fight it in every single way. And I believe, autocrats only succeed, Kristen, if the public lets them. But if the public is so angry and takes action, and certainly we Democrats will, it will trigger a mass movement from one end of the country to the other, something that we haven't seen in a very long time.
Good.
So what he just did, I don't know if you heard specifically how he jumped from term to term, but he said if Trump defies the Supreme Court, and then he said if Trump defies the local courts. Is he giving a peek into the window? Have they already talked with John Roberts and some of these people? Because nothing's in front of the Supreme Court, and nothing's going to be in front of the Supreme Court for any time soon. So he knows that's where it's headed. And he said, Trump, if he defies it, you're going to see an uprising like you've never seen. What exactly do you have planned, Chucky? Are you telling everybody that they should be arming up and getting ammo because you guys are going to go bat poop crazy? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're trying to advocate for? I told you that we were in a civil war. The Senate minority leader is now affirming that with no equivocation. We are going to fight in a way you've never seen. Well, since we've seen you burn stuff down, since we've seen you attack police, since we've seen all the things the Democrats have done, what do you think that means? If they don't have the courts, because the Democrats can't do anything, if they don't have the ability to enforce anything, what do you think is coming? I'm going to leave that as an open question for you, because any reasonable adult can sit back and think, what does he mean? Where are they going with this? What are they going to do? How are they going to do it? I've said it many, many times. I don't say it as much as anymore. You better be ready. They are fighting for their very lives at this point. The very lives of the Democrat Party are at risk. And this cornered animal is going to fight back with everything it has. You better be ready. It's not being dramatic. It's not being hyperbolic. He told you. He keeps telling you. We're going to fight. Think about it. Who are you going to fight? Who are you going to fight? You're going to fight the courts? Nope, the courts. If he ignores the courts, then you can't fight the court. Who are you going to fight? What are you going to do? See, that's a message that they're putting out there. And you can see it beginning to swell up right now. They know they're done. They are absolutely done as a party. So you got to be ready as well.
Enrich themselves while millions of Americans pay the price. And we are at a point where the wealthiest people in the world, like Elon Musk, and all the Republicans enabling him,
She didn't mention that other guy named George, did she? Nope, no, he's okay.
Are turning to loot what is left of Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security to bankroll even deeper tax cuts and sweetheart contracts for themselves, their fellow billionaires, and their corporations. Fox News.
Really? How many times does Donald Trump have to say, we're not touching Medicaid, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, for them to stop lying? I cannot believe this goes on the news and people don't say, well, do you have any proof? Has he mentioned any cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, anything? Anything at all? No, hasn't mentioned it, but they just keep saying it. And then she says loot. At least she didn't do as bad as that other guy did on television where she called Elon Musk a thief. But she essentially is calling him a thief. What are you looting? How is he making any money off of any of these cuts? You're lying again.
And the right wing will have you believe that these American values are something out of the Communist Manifesto. That we believe these things because we went to college and read them in a book somewhere. But let me tell you, Fox News, I don't believe these things. I don't believe in healthcare, labor, and human dignity because I'm a Marxist. I believe it because I was a waitress.
I had to clip that. I had to clip that because what in the hell did that mean? It's not because I'm a Marxist. I was a waitress. Huh? Oh my! People in the audience must have been like, yeah. What? Honey, our daughter's a waitress. Does that make her a Marxist? I don't know. What? Yeah. And it tells you they don't even listen. It made absolutely no sense.
Because I scrubbed toilets with my mom to go to school. Because I've worked double shifts to keep the lights on. And because on my worst day, I know what it feels like to feel left behind. And I know that we don't have to live like this anymore, Las Vegas.
I applaud you. You work 2 jobs. What are you saying? People shouldn't have to work 2 jobs? What if they want to make more money? I don't understand what her entire analogy was there. She's talking to Las Vegas, obviously a lot of service personnel in the Vegas area, and she's telling them, you shouldn't have to work 2 jobs. Well, where's the money going to come from? How is it undignified to clean a toilet? I've cleaned toilets. I owned rental property. Where is the undignified part of being paid for what you do? As I mentioned, the guys who collect our garbage, very nice guys. Somebody's collecting the garbage. Somebody's cleaning the toilets. When you go to a hotel, somebody is cleaning it up. How is that undignified? And how are you going to dignify people if they're not doing a different job? I don't find people who clean up things as being undignified. I don't look down upon them. In fact, I make sure they're tipped very well. You're looking down on them. You think it's undignified. Because if you thought it was okay that somebody is working and they're doing a good job at what they do, even if they're cleaning toilets in a hotel, then you wouldn't consider it undignified. So I would have asked her right there, what makes you think that's undignified? It's her who feels that way.
Deserve better than this, Las Vegas.
Well.
Wow, she just said it. You're better than this. No, you're not. Let me be the first to tell you. You're not better than this. If that's what you're doing, be the best toilet cleaner you can possibly be. If you're at the door and you're opening doors for people or carrying in the valet, be the best damn valet you could be. Or not. You see, that's the problem she doesn't understand. I've told you the story at Disney and how I was miserable because I was just walking around and had keys to open this and keys to open that and do reports. And I went to my boss, the senior vice president, and said, "Hey, I feel like a key holder here. I'm not really doing what I feel like I can be doing. I just feel like a key holder." And I've said this story. And he looked at me and said, "Well, just be the best damn key holder you can be." I went, "Okay, here's the keys. Here's a couple middle fingers. I'm done." So you have a choice at that point. Nobody is forcing you to clean toilets. Nobody is forcing you to carry luggage. You have the keys to your kingdom. You know what? I don't feel like doing this. I don't think my other employees are less than me. I just don't feel like doing it. I think I can do something better. I aspire to something. She looks down on people. And she thinks you're just better because I don't know why. You might just be the best toilet cleaner in the hotel. That's not a bad thing to say. Until that person decides they no longer want to be the toilet cleaner. And then you applaud them and say, "What do you want to do?" "Well, I'd like to now work in the laundry." Applause. You want to do better. You want to upwardly mobile. But you don't get it. You're not assigned it. You're not entitled to it. You have to, what's that word? Earn it.
There you go. That's the message. In so many different ways.
That is a strong populist message.
Simone, your thoughts?
Well, before Simone talks, Joe, let me just ask you a question. Everybody on your network sees your ratings every single day. Your ratings suck. So if your ratings suck and MSNBC, like they did with, Joy Reid, and they said, "Joy, you got to take a step. It ain't working." What's the difference? So you think it's a great message, but Joy Reid is no longer working there. So you're lying again by saying, "Oh, that's a strong message." No, it's not. No, it's not. You're not entitled to a show. You're not entitled to be on when tomorrow morning comes. Somebody could walk down the hall and say, "You know what? You're just not good enough, Joe. We're going to have to replace you." And you know it because that's the business you're in.
Yeah, as I was listening to David, I thought about Cass Mudd, who really defined populism a number of years ago. And what he says is Cass Mudd is populism is a thin ideology that's mixed with a thick ideology. So Bernie Sanders is a populist just as much as J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are populists. But Senator Sanders' populism is, an economic populism, whereas I would argue that the populism of J.D. Vance and Donald Trump is a populism that is mixed with a little racism, ethnocentrism, xenophobia, if you will, and the type of populist.
Meanwhile,
back to the 2014 playbook. Xenophobic, deplorables, you guys suck. It's a different kind of populism. It's racist, racist. I play this because it just seems, again, I've used the word before, such a contrast. And that contrast being, you just heard from MSNBC that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are populist because they're racist. They're ethnocentric. homophobe, glomophobe, whatever phobes. But meanwhile, this man walks into arena and just says waves, and the people of all ethnicities are going nuts. You see, that populism you can't fake. There's no way he knows how he's going to be received when he walks into one of these arenas. He doesn't know how people are going to respond. Maybe at this point he does know. Maybe he does know the Democrats are completely done. That everything they stand for, everything that they speak, everything that they utter is the antithesis of what Americans, truly feel right now. Americans are starting to feel it. The Democrats are completely done. I saw this one, which not a lot of people saw, but this was President Trump at the wrestling event yesterday, hamming it up and goofing up with, oh my God, I don't know if he knows that's a black wrestler. And he's touching a black, oh my God, what a horrible racist. You see, the Democrats don't want you to know this, that he's an everyman president. He's having fun with people here. And that guy's a black guy, just like me. So we must be really stupid. We must be really dumb. We must be, the kind of people who just don't realize that America is there for us, that we can overcome. That our lot in life is just not being the person cleaning up the toilets, that maybe next week we can be in the laundry, and the week after that we could be in management. There's nobody who's stopping anybody who wants to go for the gusto. Only Democrats think that way. Only Democrats think you're stuck. Only Democrats feel like you can't promulgate wealth. It has to be given to you. She wants guarantees. Bernie wants guarantees. You should be given all this stuff, which is a complete antithesis to this young man who won a championship. He wasn't given that trophy you can't say it. He wasn't given that trophy. He earned it. He went out and won. They don't want winners. They only want people to exist. That is the evil of the Democrat Party. That is why they are toast. That's why they are going to lose, because they have no message. And as of right now, they took Bernie and AOC, took Bernie out of mothballs, put him out there, and they're saying the same stuff that already got rebuked. On November 5th, America said, we don't want this shit anymore. We're done with the Obamas. We're done with the Clintons. We're done with everything you stand for. You got anything new? And what did they do? They trotted out the same crap. That's how you know these people are done. That's how you know there's nothing for them to look forward to.
So a week or two ago, the federal government had decided that people that receive SNAP benefits should no longer be able to buy things like soda, right? And it caused this whole big debate, and it is what it is.
So I thought long and hard about talking about this. Before I get into that, let me take some comments on that, because this might be a little weird for a lot of people, but I'm gonna have to address it. Let me look at some comments here. Competition is how everyone improves. Yeah, no challenges, no growth. They're burning down car dealerships. I don't remember anybody doing that on January 6th. Nope. We don't want this. Yeah, you're right, Barry. Nobody wants it. Isn't it fun and interesting again now that Trump is back in office? Absolutely. We are so done with wokeness. I mean, I don't see how people could ever turn back and want to be, quote, taken care of. That's so. Barry, do an interactive show and set up a call line. Don't just speak to people, let them speak. Okay, I will try that. It's kind of hard. It's very hard, but I can try. Barry, only conservative Republicans need proof of evidence. Democrats don't. Stop calling AOC a bartender. She was a taco shop waitress, not a bartender. I did not know that. I did not know that. All right, so let me go on because I went a little bit long, and I'm trying to do better in keeping a pace here. Keep it a pace. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but there's another dust-up amongst conservatives. Please, people, can you come together? Can you come together instead of attacking each other? I beg of you. I just beg of you, at some point, put the weapons down and stop beating up on each other, because you're giving the Democrats just fodder. And right now, I don't know who is who, and I don't really jump into a lot of this crap that's going on, but for some reason, over the last couple days, another scandal per se has popped up. And the scandal is that there are now rumors, and there are some confirmations, that some people, how can I say this, have been taking money from certain companies to say things contrary to what Donald Trump and RFK Jr. have said, even though they don't disclose to people that they're getting the money. That's the problem. Whenever I run Lear Capital, you see my face. It's me. I'm getting paid by Lear Capital. If I do the Trump knives thing, which I haven't done, excuse me, you know that I'm being paid for it. And I'm also involved in doing something like that. I don't put out anything ever that, just tries to be covert. But in any event, I don't have any problem with these people. And I would not strike out against them. But now here we are with a whole nother dust-up. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I just explained it to you. There's people taking money to post things just to post them. And now they're being called out big time. And, we as conservatives, we as MAGA, we don't need this. We don't need any of this stuff that's happening. We don't need these people who are amongst us. We just don't need this. So we got to fix it. So I'm going to let you hear this piece, and then I'll talk about it.
So a week or two ago, the federal government had decided that people that receive SNAP benefits should no longer be able to buy things like soda, right? And it caused this whole big debate, and it is what it is. Over the weekend, some more conservative leaning, I guess, influencers started posting stuff like this on their ad, using a lot of basically the same wording in different ways, but basically saying we cannot allow Make America Healthy Again message to be used to force needy Americans into not buying certain things. Some officials in D.C. are working to try to prevent Americans on SNAP from using those benefits to buy any soda and let people decide for themselves. Anyone can consume soda, be perfectly fine in moderation, blah, blah. There were a lot of them. Clown World, who I followed, Eric Dautry, who I followed, not Jerome Powell, I never followed him, and Ian Miles Chung, who I never followed, Alice, who I stopped following a long time ago, basically posting the same thing, right? Well, then what happened was Riley Gaines went on some kind of podcast or did an interview, and she stated that these big soda companies had reached out to her, offering her $1,000 per post in order to try and push a narrative that SNAP benefits should continue to be able to purchase things like soda. Obviously,
I don't have a problem with anybody making money. I have a problem with conservatives who are doing things opposite of what President Trump and, of course, RFK Jr. are doing. This is a story that came out. Nick Sorter, who I find to be credible, He says large soda companies are paying, quote, influencers upward of $1,000 per post to lobby against the SNAP food stamp soda ban. So what is the food stamp soda ban? Hey, listen, you're on food stamps. The government is giving you money to buy groceries. And what RFK Jr. wants to do is, hey, listen, you have to buy stuff that's good for you. The government should not be contributing to diabetes and everything else. So if you need to buy milk, if you need to buy eggs, you need to buy stuff like that, that's okay. But you shouldn't be buying soda. You shouldn't be buying juicy juice. You shouldn't be buying Kool-Aid. You should be buying stuff that's healthy for you. And that's what RFK Jr. is moving to. In order to combat that, soda companies started paying influencers, so-called influencers, $1,000 to post. And they were told, here's what you'll get. Influencers are being paid big money by large soda companies to keep food stamps paying for soft drinks. I refuse to take a dime from them. I don't want my tax dollars funding obesity, as taxpayers already spend hundreds of billions every year paying for diseases which are preventable. People can pay for the soda out of their own pocket. Influencers should not be taking money for this. Food stamps are paid for with our tax dollars. So it became a thing where people were starting to complain about it and pointing out different influencers who were taking that money. Full disclosure, nope. Never had Coke or Pepsi offer me any money to post anything, nor would I have taken it anyway. I go through a lot of due diligence in terms of this. I get pitched all the time, but I'm not, and definitely ain't going to do it for $1,000. So I don't even know if these people consider that a lot of money. But $1,000, you sold your soul for $1,000? Damn, man. Damn. What the hell were you thinking? I mean, I could see if somebody said 10,000, maybe like, oh, 10,000. Somebody said, hey, I'll give you $1,000 to put up a post. Damn. That's. Whew. But anyway, they did it. They did it. They took the money and they posted this stuff. Eric Doherty, he was one of the guys who took the money. He has since come out and apologized. Yeah, that was dumb. Massive egg on my face. In all seriousness, it won't happen again. He got exposed. People told on him, and he had to come clean. Is that enough? I don't think so. I think some people at this point are never going to follow him. They're not even going to be able to talk about what he posts. They don't trust him anymore because he put up a BS post. And here is the actual post. I can show it to you right here. And they were all carbon copies. It says, we cannot allow Make America Healthy Again. Let's see if I can pull it up. Where is it? We cannot allow Make America Healthy Again messaging to be used to force needy Americans into not buying certain things. And so these people here all put up the message that the big soda people paid them to put up. And you can make your own decision at this point. Is that an unforgivable sin, or should they be chastised? So this lady on Shipwreck Crew was talking about it.
He declined it. She took to this interview, and then they posted social media about how these big pop companies were pushing for her to say these things. And Nick Sorter had dug even deeper, saying that large soda companies are paying influencers up to $1,000 per post to lobby against the SNAP soda ban because Coca-Cola and Pepsi Company pull in over $5 billion with a B, okay, each year of taxpayer-funded food stamps, which is wild. We can't.
Okay. So let me just explain that. Just from food stamps. Forget the rest of the market in your supermarket. Just from food stamps, Pepsi and Coke and probably a few others make $5 billion a year off of food stamp revenue for buying soda. Which I'll look in the comments in a second and wonder what you think about that.
We really, logistically, we can't afford to buy soda every week. I don't drink a lot of soda. My kids don't drink a lot of soda. Occasionally we do, but it's here and there. It's not every day. Definitely not regularly enough to where I have to work it into my weekly grocery budget, because I think a 12-pack of soda is now $8 or $9 or $10 a 12-pack. One of those suckers will get you, that would get you breakfast for an entire week. In my opinion, soda is a want, not a need, and people that are on SNAP benefits should only be able to use those benefits because they're taxpayer-funded benefits.
All right, so right there I have a question for you. This is a dilemma. I'd love to know what your opinion is. If we're giving out, when I say we, you, me, if we're paying for essentially welfare benefits, should people be allowed to spend that money on whatever they want? You know, if you're sitting behind somebody and they've got an EBT card and they bought lobster and you're having to eat hot dogs, is that okay? If you're standing behind someone in the checkout line and they've got their EBT card and they've got 6 gallons of Coke and you're seeing them and they look like they might be really overweight and got some fat kids, is that okay? Should we be determining what people can buy with the EBT card? That's a question first people have to answer. Should the government, should conservatives, should anybody be telling what somebody can buy at the grocery store? I don't have that answer. Let me know what you think. Should people be forced to buy certain things in the grocery store if they're getting SNAP benefits? That's a huge dilemma.
Things that they need. If you need like bottled water because you live in the boonies, you have well water, that's one. Yeah, get your bottled water. I know Coke makes Aquafina. I get all that. Water. I understand that. Buy water. We buy water sometimes. Be able to go out and be buying 4 12-packs of Coke. Wasn't that on TikTok? Somebody was using their SNAP benefits to buy all soda, then dumping it all out, and then turning the cans in for cash. Actually defending this. They're like, well, people should be able to buy what they want. And da-da-da. Yeah, but if you want to buy what you want, then go and make the money yourself. Like, you should not be using taxpayer-funded SNAP benefits to purchase the things that you want. It's dumb. They're temporary assistance for things that you need. Anywho, there's back to the influencers. So far, only one of the influencers has actually admitted to it, Eric Daughtry, and he did it in another post, but he admitted to it, said he has egg on his face and it'll never happen again. But in my opinion, like, the damage is done. You spent the last 4 years bashing mainstream media for basically doing the exact same thing. I can't trust you. I will never trust you ever again. If I unfollowed you and I muted you, game over. I can't trust any of you. And this comes after Bindergate whole thing. Remember, they were going to have the JFK files, and they brought them all to the White House. I unfollowed, I didn't follow some of these people, but I unfollowed like Lives of TikTok. I unfollowed Chad Prather. I unfollowed all you clowns, and I'll never follow you again. And I muted you because I can't trust you ever again. Ever again. I don't care how sorry you are. I don't care if you come out and you fully admit it. I don't give a shit. I'll never trust you ever again. It's the same game, only with different players. Never trust you to not be out here pushing an agenda to get people to go one way or another for a certain group of people. Same game, different players.
I just wanted to present that because I keep saying it. Learn how to win. Stop being the Washington Generals. Maybe instead of posting a video on Twitter, you contact these people directly. Maybe instead of exposing people, hey man, I heard this about you. Here's what I heard about you. Is it true? Yeah, it's true. Well, you know what? That's effed up. You shouldn't be doing that. I think you need to reassess things. But to sit there and go, conservative is bad, and you're a conservative, we're having almost monthly mutinies at this point. I love the comments here, and everybody has an opinion. Should they be allowed to do this? Should they be allowed to do that? I don't know the answer. You know why I don't know the answer? I'm not on SNAP. I know it's our money paying for it, but I don't know if I have the right to say you shouldn't be buying that, that pizza. You need to be buying broccoli and eggs and flour. I don't know if I have that right. My problem would be with the government. Hey, maybe you want to cut back on these benefits. Maybe you decide what you want to do. But what I do have a problem with, and I am speaking about, is, come on, people. We're on the same team. Find a teammate in the huddle. And the last play, he flubbed it. He screwed up. He missed the block and the quarterback got sacked. You know what? Back in the day, they didn't have these phones, but I wouldn't say, you know what? Bobby just screwed up that play today. That's why. No, man. You talk about it in the locker room. If you learn how to win, you realize, hey, man, you messed that up. Don't do that again. You shouldn't be doing it. My problem is, why are people just broadcasting this BS? The whole thing back when Bannon was doing the H-1Bs, and then what else? It's been one thing after the other. I'm like, oh my God, people, chill. These are your teammates in essence. These are the people that you have decided we are MAGA all together, and these people are making mistakes, and they're being called out in full view of everybody else. And I'm like, come on, man. I want a winning team. I want us all. I don't mean like we're all supposed to get along. This ain't a kumbaya stuff. I'm just saying, handle your business. And you people who do the stuff that makes other people pissed off, you end up looking stupid. the what do you call it? The Epstein file binder. Doing the. Act like you win. Act like you plan on being here for 8 years. I don't get it. You guys tell me. Saying with the phones on welfare. No, you guys are all like, no cigarettes, no alcohol, no lottery tickets, no lobster. Yes, limit. So see what you guys are talking about is very interesting. What you're talking about is what should be on the card. If it rings up a certain category, that's different. Well, my point is, should we be doing this as conservatives? And I don't want to say conservatives, as MAGA. Clownword said he didn't take any money and was not asked to. Clownword said that they posted it and then they took it down, but why'd you post? Again, is it our place as people on the same team, I think we're on the same team, to do this stuff in public? I wouldn't do it for a teammate in my huddle. I wouldn't do it to a family member. If we are going to win and succeed, we can't keep having these missteps. And it's a misstep if you took the money, and it's a misstep, I believe, if you called people out. I think too many people are interested in calling somebody out. Why? We're on the same team. Man, come on, people. There was a question. Somebody shouldn't put these people on blast. That's uncalled for. We have all made mistakes. Yeah, we have all made mistakes. That's kind of Christian, right? Yeah. Oh, boy. I'm very pleased. We need a prayer night. This is a spiritual. Bingo. There's some people who are being tested, and they don't realize they're being tested until they fall victim. And I think you're right. We need a prayer night. Excuse me. I would call them out, but I'm not. I wouldn't call them out, but I'm not happy about it. Yeah. Yeah, it needs to be flushed out, not floating around. Yes, as MAGA, it's our place to eat as healthy as possible. With free money we can give to our people. Don't want to call you out, just want you to be healthy. Exactly. All right, so anyway, that's my concern with this whole thing. People asked me if I was going to talk about it, and now I have, and you know my feelings. My feeling is there's certain things, if you guys all want to be in this clique, and if you all want to rub elbows with each other, that's fine. But if you're rubbing elbows about this, rub elbows about that. I guarantee you, if people had contacted Shia, I think the lady from Libs of TikTok, and said, hey, did you take money? If it's any of your business. And then if she said no, then drop it. If she said yes, that's between you and her to vocalize. Why would you put that out there? That's the problem I'm having. That's the problem. You asked two questions. One, should we be able to say what people can buy? Yeah, that's a different thing. Republicans are MAGA because the people are forcing them to be fake MAGA. Oof. See, I'm just saying. It seems like a lot of these influencers weren't used to success, and because the trappings that come with success are causing people to make mistakes. So that may be the evil amongst us, because people aren't used to seeing success. Yeah, like I said, I sold real estate and I played ball, so none of this is new to me. I don't get crazy over it, and I definitely wouldn't have posted for a measly $1,000. I ain't cheap, y'all. All right, here we go.
Here's 10 stories that you just gotta hear. Number 10.
Back when I first came to the Congress and the House, I helped form the Progressive Caucus. We had 5 people at that time. Now they got close to 100. So you got a whole lot of good people. Alexandria is extraordinary. I am so impressed by her work in Congress, and she inspires young people all over the country.
Would you like to see her join in the Senate?
Right now, we have, as I said, just a whole lot of people.
I'm not that impressed with it, though.
In the Congress. Okay, Jonathan, thanks.
Wait, I got one more. This is important.
Well, I asked you.
Okay.
You want to do nonsense, do nonsense.
No.
I don't want to talk about inside the Beltway stuff. I got 32,000 people.
I was just asking you about AOC because she was out there with you.
No, fine, but I don't want to talk about this. What was the last question?
I was just going to ask you one more question about you.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm doing these 30,000 people thing with AOC. Yeah, but you think she should be in the Senate? I'm down here. Wait a minute. You just said you were impressed with her. That wasn't a bad question. Why'd you get up and want to run away? Because it's all a facade. It's all BS. I don't even want to talk about AOC being in the Senate. What do you mean? You're out stumping with her, going to these events, and a reporter says, hey, so you think she should be a great senator? Yes, because you're worried about pissing off Chuck Schumer. And you ran. Oh, we're done here.
That's all. I was literally your last...
What is your question?
Well, I mean, it's easy to understand. I mean, I want to ask you about your future. This is the biggest crowd. You said you ran for president twice. This is the biggest crowd you've ever seen. Are we going to see you run again? Or what's your future?
No, right now, I am very proud that the people of the state of Vermont sent me back to the Senate with 63% of the vote. Right now, I'm Vermont senator. That's what I do, and I'm very happy to do it. I am 83 years of age, and I'm tired.
All right,
So if I was AOC, I would probably not even want to go on any more events. This guy doesn't think anything of you. He thinks you're a prop. Hey, you think she should be in the Senate? Oh, hey, I'm done here. I'm done here. I'm not doing that. Why, Bernie? Why don't you want the American people to know what you really think about AOC? AOC, at this point, you need to be embarrassed. You need to understand you're being played. Whoever put those two together and said go out there knew what they were doing. They were just putting two props on the stage. Bernie's like, I'm 83, I'm tired. So you know he's not going to run, because what's going to happen is that'll be a clip for anybody running against him. 83 and I'm tired. Okay, what about her? I'm done. I don't want anything to do with her.
Number 9.
Number 2, what they're trying to do is keep people suspicious of education and keep people undereducated. An educated populace can challenge its government, and they don't want that.
She's talking about Republicans, we're trying to keep people stupid. Wow. The Department of Education has been run by Democrats for quite some time. Johnny can't read and Sally can't read. They definitely can't add. So how is it Republicans who are trying to keep these people stupid?
And then the third thing is they're trying to move us back where we don't have investments in the latest research. $3 trillion. $3 trillion
trillion with a T, $3 trillion. Why don't you have investments in the latest and best? Who has stopped these people in the education department from investing in the best stuff? Not the Republicans. Wow.
Number 8.
By coincidence, my question is related to the previous question here. I'd like to ask you about Christian nationalism, and I want to make 2 statements, and I'd just like to have you comment on those statements. Christian nationalism is a threat to democracy and to Christianity, and Christian nationalism is one of the main reasons Trump got elected. And I'd just like to talk to you about that, and maybe if you have some comments about the influence on Christian nationalism that you see at the Congress.
Yeah, I mean, I think religious supremacy in essence is a threat to not just our democracy here, but to democracies around the world, and it is a threat to people being able to live with freedoms and liberty, and to think about what it means to live in an inclusive, welcoming societies. And I think it is important for us to not allow people to say that you are against people being Christian, because we are for everybody practicing whatever it is they want to practice or not practice, right? That is what liberty what liberty means, and what the appeal for liberty is. That I get to practice my faith, you get to practice your faith, and you get to decide that you don't believe in any faith. That's the beauty. And so when you tie national
numbers.
My head hurts. I actually felt twisted. This woman supports an ideology that will take off your head if you don't believe what they believe. This woman supports a religion where women don't get to do things that other women can do. And she's telling us that this country, being a Christian nationalist country, is a supremacist view. Wow. And you could tell she was uncomfortable, because she was trying to make it inclusive for everybody. You believe this, you believe that, believe whatever you want, when she knows that's not what she believes. How do we know? Because we've seen what they do to people who don't believe what they believe. You're all infidels. Why? Because you don't believe in that guy. So she's lying on the podium, trying to, supplicate and let these people think everything's okay. We're not here to take you over. Everybody can be whatever they want to be. You don't have to believe in anything. You believe that? Because then you would believe in anything.
7. So ESPN and others reported today that the Department of Defense, amidst an ongoing effort to purge government mentions of diversity, equity, inclusion, removed the website honoring Jackie Robinson's military service.
Those of you who aren't in the sports world and don't follow closely, I would tell you that this woman here is the female Stephen A. Smith. Mina Kimes is a sports person who talks about football. She gets paid very, very well, in excess of $2 million per year. But she's always talking about, DEI. And so now she chimes in about an error that was made in the Department of Defense while on a show on ESPN.
It has since been restored, and their spokesperson, the Pentagon press secretary, said this: we do not view or highlight people such as Robinson through the prism of immutable characteristics such as race, amongst other things. So, look, Jackie Robinson was known for many things, but above all, first and foremost, it was his ongoing courage in the face of racial discrimination. In fact, in addition to crossing the color barrier in baseball, he served in a segregated unit in the Army and in one instance refused to move to the back of the bus, was arrested and acquitted. That matters. That history cannot be erased, it cannot be undone, and it must be recognized to fully understand and celebrate his legacy.
Thanks, Mina.
By the way, her show was canceled. That show, Around the Horn, was canceled by ESPN, and now you know why. So she'll have to go back to working in the set for the NFL news. I am tired of people infusing politics in my sport. Thank God, that's why I pretty much abandoned most professional sports at this point, and I just love college football. I'm watching March Madness, don't really have a favorite team, but just watching the pageantry, these kids playing for heart, these kids doing whatever they can to win a championship, diving on the floor, diving into the stands, trying to do whatever they can to win. And it doesn't matter whether the color of your skin is black or white. Right now, we just need to win. UConn girls are playing. They will be playing probably the South Carolina girls for the championship. Who knows how that's going to turn out. UConn has a primary national player, Paige Bucker. A lot of big name players across the league, black and white. Can't we just watch sports? Can't we just look at a game and go, this is a great game, without infusing the DEI crap and the racist stuff? I knew years ago we were in a big problem when they started doing the BLM crap in football, and I'm like, oh God, oh, the kneeling, and oh, can I just watch a football game? I'm not on Fox, I'm not on MSNBC. I got a bag of popcorn, and I'm sitting back, got my chair up in the recliner, and I just want to watch a flipping football game. And just like they did before, I did a video on Stephen A. Smith a couple days ago, and now she comes out and says something. They won't let it go. They will not let it go. It is part of their downfall. This show is about the Democrat Party being done, is because everything they did leading up to November 5th failed. And what are they doing now? The exact same thing. They don't realize that people don't want it. Don't care. Just talk about the game. Just talk about sports. If I wanted politics, I'd turn on MSNBC, CNN, or Fox. I'm looking at the scores. When we're done here, I think there's a couple more games that I think we DVR'd, and we'll look at the Cinderella story. See who's going to win tonight. I'm not turning in to see, what if there are any black kids on the team? What about the white kid? No, I want to watch sports. Male sports and female sports, and never shall the two mix. Please.
6.
There's lots of data that shows that, I think, to put it mildly, education could be better in America.
Absolutely.
But you also just admitted, and it's just fact, that most of the funding, most of all of the curriculum, and everything that goes into educating our students happens on a local level. So I'm not quite sure how eliminating the Department of Education is going to make those test scores go up.
Sometimes I feel bad for these people because they tee up these questions and you're overmatched talking to somebody who's way more intelligent than you, and you just admitted that the test scores suck, and we've spent $3 trillion, and you're trying to figure out how the test score is going to go up. Better administration, better focus on teaching kids, not on the teachers union.
Well, a lot of the funding that goes into states now goes with a lot of red tape, a lot of strings attached to it, and so governors and state superintendents of education have said, look, if we have the funding coming in which allows us to be more creative, how can we spend that? The president believes, as I do, that the best education is that's closest to the students. And I want to look at some of the states that have been incredibly great over the last couple of years, like Louisiana. Their NAEP score showed that they had improved the most of any states. Those were programs that were put in place by the governors, by the superintendent of education, not having anything to do with the Department of Education in Washington. So what we need to do is to make sure that the funding has a clear path, the funding continues, but that the states are allowed to spend the money where they need to spend it, to hire teachers, increase their salaries, make sure that our students with special needs are taken care of. And that's what we want to make sure that happens.
It's so simple. By bypassing the monolith of crap that goes with the Department of Education and putting it directly into the state's hands, I don't understand, Dana, how you even had that question come up. They want to make it better at the state level because that's where the kids are being taught. They're not being taught in Washington. The administrative boondoggle you people have had there has spent $3 trillion. The thing you have to ask is, what did you get for $3 trillion? Period. Stop carrying a Democrat flag and just ask that simple question. Is it broken? Yes. Have we spent a crap load of money on a continuing broken system? Yes. So as Donald Trump often has said, what do you have to lose? We can't be any worse. We're already at the bottom. So if we try something different because what we're doing isn't working, is that a bad thing? Can it get worse? The news never wants to talk about that. Why would you? I would have turned it back on her. Dana, why would you want to keep doing it this way? If we're at the bottom of the spectrum in terms of how kids are learning compared to other nations, and we've been that way for some while, and we've been spending money out the wazoo, why would you want to continue doing that? So instead of fighting with me because you're so much of a liberal, can you just answer that same question? Why hasn't it been fixed? You just had 4 years of Biden and Kamala. Why didn't you fix it? So what you're suggesting is we need to keep doing things as they are, even if they're broken.
5.
The answer is no court can review it. Not the Supreme Court, not the appellate court, not the district court. Exactly. That's the answer. There is no court, including the highest court in the land, that has jurisdiction over this. And in part, because of the words of the Alien Enemy Act, as interpreted by the U.S. Supreme Court after it was passed.
See, a lot of people don't understand that. What we're seeing happening in these district courts has already been adjudicated at the Supreme Court level. It is already said the president, doesn't matter who he is, the president has complete authority. And the president, it's not even, what he's doing isn't even reviewable by a lower court. And so Megyn Kelly, she's a lawyer, but she's not, a Supreme Court lawyer, and you can get another lawyer to say something else. But she's reading and reason why I put her in, she's reading the actual decision. There's no equivocation. It says it in it. The lower courts do not have authority to even review this. That's why Trump is just going to move ahead, because you can't stop him. This is all BS.
The U.S. Supreme Court held the Alien Enemy Act precludes, meaning stops, doesn't allow, judicial review of the removal order. This is the Supreme Court deciding a case after World War II had ended. Such great war powers may be abused, no doubt, but that is a bad reason for having judges supervise their exercise, whatever the legal formulas within which such supervision would nominally be confined, the Supreme Court majority declared. Accordingly, we hold that full responsibility for the just exercise of this great power may validly be left where the Congress has constitutionally placed it, on the President of the United States. That's the law. Casey, not the Supreme Court, not the appellate court beneath it, and not Judge Boasberg.
It really is that simple. It says it in the case. So Trump knows this. Everybody who's read it knows this. These people are just wasting time. It's not even reviewable. That's the part that makes no sense about this, why they're even taking it up. They know it. I bet you didn't know how many cases have already been overturned. They don't talk about that. Oh, we've won 100 cases. Well, you want to hear something funny? Let me see if I can find this, because I want to expose a game that the left is playing right now. And in this thread, Margot talks specifically about what these people are doing. All right, so I want to show you this because it's absolutely incredible in terms of how this thing is shaken out. And they can't stop it. They know they can't stop it. And it just keeps happening. Let me pull this up so you guys can see this, because she posts so much every day. I should have had this ready, but hold on. Let me get down to it. All right. All right. I want you to see this. Trump administration filed motion to stay outrageous order. Opening paragraph sets stage perfectly. Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals is taking this very seriously, having ordered plaintiffs to file a response by tomorrow at 10 a.m. So they filed these documents, and the Department of Justice has responded and says you can't do this and you can't do that. What's very interesting, I'm see if I can get down to where she says it in this thread. Okay, so here's the motion to stay. This is where it starts getting interesting here, all right? The National Association of Diversity Officers just filed an outrageous motion in district court seeking to vacate the injunction that they received at the lower court. Why? They're asking the court to tear it up. Excuse me. Why are they seeking to stop what they're doing? Well, here's what will happen. They filed the injunction with the lower court. I don't know if it was Bo Asperger or one of the other ones. And now Trump has appealed it to the appellate court. The appellate court is making an indication that they're going to rule in Trump's favor. If they rule in Trump's favor, I want you to see what will happen. What will happen at that point is this. Once appellate courts issue a decision on legal issues, it binds all lower court districts within boundaries. But other district courts may find it persuasive. As I've said for last month, things are crazy now, but these cases will begin to sort out and drop out as appellate courts resolve issues which apply to multiple other court cases in the same bucket. That will put a halt to the coup by the court. And so what they're trying to do now is they're asking the lower court to vacate the injunction that they wanted. Understand this. The reason being is if the appellate court rules on the injunction and says it's no good, then all the other ones are no good. So they're playing a game like they got it to this point and like, well, we didn't mean it. We didn't mean to do that. Tear it up. We don't want you to even rule on it. Or forget about it. Because at this point they know once the appellate court rules, they rule blanketly. Because if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander and the other ganders. So if they throw this one out, a bunch of them get thrown out. And so now they know it. Can you stop? Can you please stop? Don't go ahead and rule on it. We're not playing anymore. See, that's what's really important for people to understand. They played the game. They got it to the appellate court. Trump has got it there. And now they don't want the appellate court to rule. They're trying to withdraw it. We didn't mean it. Well, you've gone this far. How come all of a sudden you don't want it? You don't want it because once the appellate court rules, all these other dominoes fall. See, no one's talking about that. They keep saying, like Chuck Schumer said, oh, we won 100 different cases. No, you didn't. You got 100 different cases that keep getting these temporary restraining orders, and now that Trump has appealed them all, because like Megyn Kelly said, you don't have the ability to even review this. It's already settled case law. Now they'll start getting chopped away. And now they realize it, and they're like, oh, can you guys not, don't rule. We don't want this anymore. That's very important for you to remember, very important for you to know that, because at this point, they're trying to say we don't want the injunction. Well, you just fought for the injunction. How do you not want it now? Because if we get the injunction, we're screwed. Because now when the appellate court throws it out, all this other stuff goes out the door too. Watch for that.
4.
I think the Democratic Party has split into two parties. There's the Democratic Party with beliefs, and there's the Democratic Party without beliefs. I think that the Democratic Party with beliefs is the one that's very far left, and their beliefs are fundamentally rooted in concepts of socialism, Marxism.
Yes.
And they're very clear about those beliefs, that traditional power structures need to be dismantled, and assets and influence need to be commonly redistributed. The rest of the Democratic Party, which people call the moderate part of the party, actually don't really know what their beliefs are. When you talk to anyone in the Republican Party in a leadership position, you hear very clearly what their beliefs are. We saw it this week in D.C. Every member of the cabinet that we met with, and there were quite a number of them, had the exact same message and the exact same set of beliefs of what this administration stands for and what they're trying to do. You may agree with those beliefs or you may not, but they have stated their beliefs. The problem is that because the moderates in the Democratic Party have not stated a set of beliefs, a set of objectives, a vision for the country, a vision for their party, the party is effectively being represented by this part of the party that does have beliefs, the deeply socialist Marxist beliefs. And they have basically subsumed the message. And as a result, this is why people have lost interest in the Democratic Party, because the moderate aspect has not been really clear on what their beliefs are. There's an opportunity for some of these moderate leaders in the Democratic Party, like Dean Phillips, like, and people may not like me saying this, but like Gavin Newsom, who I don't think is all the way over on that far left side of the spectrum, to be really clear and paint a better vision and really state the beliefs of the party and what the beliefs are that differentiate them. And those beliefs, recently, the only thing that underscores what that party stands for is we're not the other guys. We're not the Republicans. And that's it. And so people that don't like the Republicans are like, well, I don't know, because then I'm subsumed by the socialist Marxist rhetoric. So I don't know if I want to be a part of that either. And that's why I think a lot of people feel left out. And that's why I think the recent polling data, if you pull it up on the Democrats, it's like 23% or something in this country now. It was like
23%. They're cratering. And the socialist Marxist nuts have frightened the moderates away. You see people like Gavin Newsom, like he mentioned, trying to move a little bit to the right, trying to do podcasts, trying to get people to come listen to him. But his baggage is way too much. He would get destroyed. But there's nobody really in the middle who has the strength to fight the crazy side of the Democrat Party. So they're done. They know, and the thing is, it's not just me saying it. The data is saying it. When you look at those numbers like that, they're done. There's nothing there for them. The old guard, it's not going to work. Everything they're doing with Bernie and AOC, none of that stuff is sticking. People hate it. You knew it from November 5th. It hasn't changed. And then every single day when we see people doing this crazy stuff at Tesla and sticking their fingers up their butt and wiping poopy all over somebody's Tesla. I saw one video today where a guy put his finger down his throat so he could throw up on a Tesla. This is not normal behavior. Nobody wants to be associated with that. No normal person wants to be associated with that. No normal person would go up and spray paint or do any of the stuff they're doing to a Tesla, to any business. That stuff is so played out, so old. Fight, fight, fight. No, they're not fight, fight, fight. These are anarchists. This is not a Trump-style fight. This is anarchy. They want to destroy America. And I said a long time ago, there are a lot of good people who are Democrats. There aren't that many good people who are leftists. Big difference. And right now they've abdicated their power to these nuts, to where the only people MSNBC wants to talk about, the only people that CNN want to talk about are the absolute nuts in their party. And until somebody can find a way to thread the needle and come down the middle, this party is done. They are completely toast. They are never coming back. Since November 5th, the numbers have just gone down. The data proves it. People don't want what you're selling, but you keep pushing the same stuff.
Is there something? Did you see the crazy clip that did the racial demographic split on some key issues like things like DEI?
Is this the one that says white college age women are just are like this weird?
Anyway, I think Tim Walz, like a lot of others, because there's no other beliefs to stand for, you end up being subsumed by the part of the Democratic Party that does have beliefs, and you don't have anything else to say, to state, and to show what you're for.
And that, it's very simple. People with thinking minds can sit back and go, this is nuts. Everything that you guys are saying, nobody in America wants other than the crazies. Nobody wants to pay more taxes. Everybody wants, not everybody, but a huge portion of America wants the newcomers gone. Most of America wants these cuts to happen in the government. Most of America wants to see the Department of Education and some of these agencies sliced. Most of America can make sense because they have to balance a budget at home. The only people who are complaining are the commies and the commie politicians. Doesn't make any sense. You're hanging your hat on a defeating issue and you're wondering what's happening. It's pretty simple to see. Any of us could diagram a way out of it, but they won't take it.
Number 3.
And finally, it's getting to a very dangerous crescendo of hate. Go on the internet, there is now an industry of people posting photos of their Cybertruck, their Y model, their X model being keyed and vandalized by young people in an organized fashion. There are chargers, Tesla chargers that are being destroyed. There's Tesla dealers that are being attacked, all against Elon Musk. Go back 2 or 3 years ago and he was an iconic Renaissance figure, we were told, by the very people who are now calling him disloyal or not purely or not completely an American. This is Victor David Hanson. I love his thoughts. I love how he analyzes things, and it's becoming very apparent. And I looked into some of the comments like, Barry, stop telling them the way out of it. No, it doesn't matter. I just want you to understand that. You, me, Victor David Hanson, we could all tell them, hey, that ain't going to work. You have billionaires, of those 4 guys from the All In podcasters. It's not going to work. We all know, we all can see, they can't. They are in a ditch. When I say a ditch, when a plane's going down, and they can't pull up. There's nothing they can do at this point, because the only way for them to pull up is to abandon everything they set up for the last 20 or 30 years. That's almost impossible. They set up a party that was going to move towards everything possible to try and push Marxism and communism or socialism or some sort of mutant form in between. And that's what they were, hey, ever since Obama, hey, we're going to do this. Yeah, we're going to transform America, and we're going to do this, and we're going to equity and all of it, DEI and BLM. Everything they built was for this moment. And now, as Kansas said, and the moment's gone. It's dust in the wind. But for some reason, the people who are carrying the torch don't realize the moment's gone. Everybody on the outside is looking and going, this is over. It's done. Come up with something else. And it's very hard for them to basically extricate themselves, and they can't pull up. This is what they did in the school system. These are the kids that they brainwashed. This is the MK Ultra stuff that they did for 20 and 30 years to get to this moment. Get to November 4th of 2024 and win on November 25th, and we're gonna do what we... Oh, Trump won. And the moment's gone. Literally dust in the wind.
And we're 2 months in, and you're seeing the flailing that's going on. And it's just the last vestiges of a dead animal. It's got nothing, which makes it also dangerous.
Strangest phenomenon of our time. And it should cease. And the reason it should cease is if this rhetoric continues and this organized, it really is a domestic terrorist campaign against Tesla increases, somebody's going to do something stupid because they are lowering the bar of what's permissible. And we know what that stupid is. It's a direct attack on Elon Musk himself.
See, I don't think it's just an attack on Elon Musk. I think once these people begin lashing out, it's going to be widespread. I think they're going to lash out at you. I think they're going to lash out at me. You've seen the swatting. I think they're going to lash out everywhere. Everything that they've been told is falling apart in front of them. No, you can't play in women's sports. No, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. Oh, you went and had that operation? Sorry, guess what? No refunds. You're stuck. You got that fake thing hanging down between your legs and there's nobody who wants anything to do with you. What are you going to do now? You were sold a bill of goods by the Democrat Party, who, guess what? They're all okay, except for one of them. Hey, it didn't work out. You know what? I'm going to go down to Miami now and hang out, as AOC often does. You know what? I'm just going to go on vacation. We're not in party anymore. We're going to hang out in Delaware Beach. Whatever. They are fine. They left you in shambles. You all shaved your heads and painted your hair and locked things off and got rid of babies. You see any politicians doing that? It's funny. I don't remember seeing many of the Democrat politicians taking a video of them doing something like that. Have you looked at what Nancy Pelosi's portfolio is like? They're nothing like the people they lead. AOC is nothing like the people she speaks in front of. Bernie Sanders is nothing like the people he advocates for. Elizabeth Warren, worth like $60 million. You guys have all been had, and now you're waking up and going, what happened? Well, welcome to the party. Your moment's gone. You are dust in the wind.
2.
Well, Pete Hegseth is a man who advocated for the firing of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Brown, who Hegseth said was unqualified simply essentially based on the fact that he was African American.
No, that's not what he said. You're lying again. I don't understand. I know the whole Smith-Munt Act thing and what they did, but it gets to be like tiresome, doesn't it? It gets, you just, Pete Hegseth fired him because he was black.
And has replaced him with somebody of a lower rank, by the way, who's a white man. And so I think we should take these individuals, the president and his team, at their word. We saw already from Project 2025, as Basil.
Where did you see Project 2025? Please show us. I mean, you're making a statement that we see from Project 2025. I'm pretty sure no one's mentioned Project 2025. I'm pretty sure there's been not a single press conference that said, okay, on page 6 of Project 2025, here's what we're going to do next. Beating that same drum. The only reason I included this is because this is on MSNBC and they're beating the same drum.
Said that what they promised they are delivering, specifically to the Heritage Foundation. I also think it's an important moment. I wish we would stop saying DEI, because every American hears DEI, and you think about the annoying trainings that you have at work. You know, that's very easy to kind of poke holes at that. Some of them are fine. Some of them are just, a hassle for Americans. What we're actually talking about coming from the White House is an anti-civil rights agenda. It's an...
And Nicole Wallace just sits there and just smiles with her hand crossed. Yeah, anti-civil rights. I just want you to know, number one, that's a black woman on television saying that. I'm a black man talking. There are black people all over, and I can tell you, I can't speak for her, but where I am in Boca, I have not walked into a single restaurant, store, or place of business where anybody has said, you can't come in here because you're black. You know, because it's anti-civil rights, you'd think that people all over the place would be telling blacks they can't eat here. You can't rent this hotel room. They beat this horse into the ground, and they have no other message. That was the entirety of what I wanted to say today. Their message is done. They are done. The data now proves it. And these people that they bring on these shows, their only job is to try and do whatever CPR they can do on this thing and try to bring the pulse back. Do whatever you need. Get the paddles clear. Oh, we're still flatlining. Yeah, you're still flatlining. What do we do? Keep bringing these people on.
Anti-black agenda, it's an anti-feminist agenda, it's anti-LGBTQ agenda, and it's an attack on the idea that America is a multicultural and multiracial democracy.
I'm just going to tell you, I live in South Florida. I could take you to two very thriving areas here in South Florida that are so LGBTQ. Maybe not the rest of those alphabet letters, but they do really well. Very, very well. You don't see anything on the news. No crime. Anti-black? I can't even respond to that. Anti-woman? No, I think just the opposite. I think just the opposite. Most women would say we can see that the Trump administration is protecting women. So where does the Democrat Party go at this point? Is there any way that they can change this before 2026? Personally, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything they can do because they are locked into A, the court system, and B, rioting. Which most people are sitting back and watching on their television now and going, I don't want to have any parts of what these people are doing. Good people are not going to be part of this craziness. Only the nuts.
Number 1.
So you know who the third one is that's keeping cable in business? Pharma. Do you know what percentage of every dollar on sponsorship and ads cable TV gets from pharma? What percentage is from pharma? Percentage. For every dollar, percentage. So think about movie commercials, car commercials, clothing commercials, all these different companies that do commercials, so many industries.
Something ridiculous like 70%.
Now this is Patrick Bet-David, and he's talking about something that RFK Jr. has been talking about quite a bit. And many of us have been salivating, waiting for this to come out. With everything Trump has done and how he's been hitting them with right cross and left uppercuts and coming back with the cross and making them run to the court and revoking security clearances and deporting people, and they're just back like this. Just there's nothing they can do is run to the courts. This one, believe it or not the Transformers in the military, not the deportations, I don't even remember them all now. It's been 2 months. Nothing is going to hit the Democrat Party harder than what's about to happen with RFK Jr. If he indeed, in the next couple weeks, takes pharmaceutical ads out of television, then the Democrat Party can hold a funeral. This, I've been waiting for it. This would be the thing they can never recover from. It's only a matter of time. But Donald Trump knows this. RFK Jr. knows it. This is the thing that should make them create the headstone. None of the other stuff. Not even the stuff from Doge. This would kill them.
It's 75%. You're right. 75%. So check this out. Watch how crazy this is. Okay.
How is that even legal to do that?
Can you, while I'm doing this, just on your phone, Google what percentage of pharma cable advertisement, it's going to come up saying 75%. Now watch this. 75%, right? Stay with me here. So now we have to answer the question, is it moral to advertise getting more people taking drugs? Okay, what's wrong with that? It's their choice. They got to do it. No problem. So then why is it out of nearly 200 countries in the world, only 2 of them allow pharmaceutical companies to advertise on TV? And
That's true. There's only two countries in the world that allow pharmaceuticals to advertise on TV. Now you have to understand how big this is. When you watch television, if you watch broadcast television, and you sit back and let it spin, you're going to see Ozempic and what's the other one? Not Viagra, but Hims. It's just constant barrage of pharmaceutical ads. And I want you to think of it this way. Imagine you open your paycheck this Friday or middle of the month, whenever. And 75% of the revenue that you make, 75% of your pay is no longer there. What happens to your home? If 75% just goes, evaporates. No more big salaries on CNN and MSNBC, even on Fox. No more big salaries. Now you have to make it the right way. Oh, and by the way, you're not going to get any USAID money. We've already stopped that. Now you actually have to put eyeballs on television. Now you have to compete with Patrick Bet-David and Benny Johnson and me and, well, not Dan Bongino anymore. Now you have to compete. You have to get eyeballs. That's how most advertising is done. That's why those influencers were getting $1,000 a post. They were going to people and saying, "Can you get the eyeballs on this?" That's not what they've been doing on the networks now. What they've been doing on the networks now is they have a cash cow from the pharmaceutical companies, and those pharmaceutical companies have been dumping tens of millions of dollars for them to push Ozempic and all the other stuff. That's how they can afford to pay Rachel Maddow $20 million. That's how Brett Baer gets paid $25 million. That's where the money is coming from. This happened years ago with tobacco, when all of a sudden, all of that money just got taken away. And then they fulfilled it or backed it up with pharmaceuticals. Now guess what's going to happen if they can't be on TV? I mean, they'll try, but nobody's going to see it. They're done. Absolutely done.
The 198 don't. Who are the 2 countries? U.S. and New Zealand. Why? Wait. I don't know. You mean to tell me Germany doesn't allow? Nope. You mean to tell me China, Japan? No. Not even Venezuela? No.
Damn, that's
Canada?
crazy.
No. Only 2 countries. Yes. Why? I don't get it. Because they allow it. 75%.
Seriously. I mean, if you think about that, 75% of their income comes from just nothing but pharmaceutical companies. That's nuts. Absolutely crazy. And I'm telling you right now, being in advertising, sitting in boardrooms at advertising agencies, talking to clients, I know for sure if they can't afford to put that stuff on, go ahead and just have the gravestone put up. Those of you guys who watched or maybe have seen what's happened to Disney lately with this Wicked movie, and now Snow whatever, you want to call it Snow White, but Snow Crazy, they can't afford it. They can't be propped up anymore. And so now you're going to see you're going to see them really lash out now. We're only 2 months in, people. It's, as of the date of this video, it's March 23rd. We're 2 months in. You won't believe the next couple of months if RFK Jr. drops the bomb and says, that's it, no more pharmaceutical money. It's going to be huge. All right, so I want to show you guys, something right now that is going to make heads explode in the Elon Musk hatred world. Absolutely, and I dare them. I absolutely dare them to try and go ahead and key these cars.
So Las Vegas Police Department just added 10 Cybertrucks to their fleet, but I think the story is actually much bigger. When the community found out about this, people were outraged because Cybertrucks are ridiculously expensive and they're not particularly good vehicles, especially for police. When the sheriff announced the Cybertrucks, he was quick to point out that they didn't buy them.
Now, what's funny, this is some liberal guy who's pissed off that they got these Cybertrucks. So as you're hearing him talk, it's just blabberish. Because he's freaking out that all of a sudden the Las Vegas Police Department has an influx of 10 or 12 Cybertrucks.
They were donated anonymously. Now, aside from the very obvious parallels that having militarized police forces and vehicles that look like cyber...
How is it militarized when the same people are driving these in the streets? Not like there's a tank. It's not like an Abrams tank is riding down the street. I see these all the time. Now police just happen to be driving it. How is it militarized?
Trucks is very bad for the community. A lot of people thought that it was Elon Musk who donated the Cybertrucks to the police, that it wasn't. Billionaires are funding the police. And before you say, oh, it's just a donation, if the donation is used for police operations like the flock cameras or the Cybertrucks, that money is used for policing in the community. It's not well, certainly with Flock and with now the Cybertruck, which is a vehicle capable of autonomous driving, they're getting data. But more than the data is the control they get and the influence they have on the policing system.
Oh, hold on. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Cry harder, libs. Cry harder. I think every police force in the country should get like 10 Cybertrucks. Put those things on there. It looks like, RoboCop. It looks phenomenal. And I was scared of bejeebus out of these people. As I'm driving down the road, I'm a cop, and I got 7 cameras taking pictures of everything. And I'm bulletproof, and I'm pretty much indestructible. These people have no idea what's coming. They have no idea how to stop anything. And it's happening. It's happening to the point where every day they have to wonder, what is President Trump going to do next? Well, we're only 2 months in. We're about to find out because it's amazing.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
Oh, yeah, we are so winning. We are so winning. And I feel it's my job. I need to keep letting you know how bad these people really are, so you understand, even when you hear the stuff about the lawsuits and the injunctions and everything else that comes that way, that you feel comfortable knowing we are in a good situation moving forward, even sometimes when it doesn't look that way. Man, do they make a Z71 version? I don't know. Bernie gets more money from Big Pharma than Elizabeth Warren. They get so much money. I bet Elon, where'd that go? I bet Elon, it went so fast. It went, what did he say? They look like Cybertrucks. Kai Trump, what did it say? Kai Trump showed a clip of her new Tesla, 0 to 60 miles an hour in 2.6 seconds. Woo! Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh yeah. I can't wait for RFK Jr. to make that announcement as well. All right, everybody. Let me go ahead and show you this real quick because I'm about to, I can't believe this went this long. Hey, if you'd like to join 15,000 plus fellow patriots on X in our private X/Twitter group, go to fanfareshop.org/group. Just put in that URL in your browser. It'll take you right to our private group on X. Love to see you there. Let's share some content. And if you'd like to win a hoodie, or rather if you'd like to enter to win a hoodie, go to fanfareshop.org, fanfareshop.org, and register to win a Trump hoodie.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Okay, before I get to the super chats, it is the evening, so I've got to give away 3 hoodies, and then I got to get that list over to Ashley so she can start fulfilling the ones. We got a new shipment in Remember, very soon we're going to t-shirts instead of hoodies. All right, so let's go ahead and get it ready to give away some hoodies. Tommy Lawrence gave me a new drum roll, but I haven't had a chance. Believe it or not, I haven't had a chance to load it in here, but I got this one. All right, so the first winner is Gene England. Gene England, you have won a hoodie. Let's go ahead and do another one here and roll the drum roll again. And Rebecca Bremer, you have won a free hoodie. And let's pick another one real quick here. And roll the drum roll. Sandra Lazaro, you have won a free hoodie. Congratulations, everybody. Now let me go ahead and read the super super chats here. Neo, how you doing, buddy? Neo says 2 months of Trump in office results show. They surely do. Nathan Hardcastle, Obama did say he was going to fundamentally transform America. Who? Wait, am I at the bottom? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't go all the way to the top. Okay. Nilsa Presta, Barry, thank you for your support for our great president. I always look forward to your program. God bless you and your beautiful family. Thank you very much. Liberum X, Bernie has no worries. He owns 4 mansions, 50 million. He's a millionaires and billionaires. Holding on. These idiots don't understand if Kamala would have won, there would be no TikTok, no free speech, just, MSM, USAID pro propaganda. James Hammond, to whom are we indebted and to who does America pay the interest on this debt? Very love your show. You do good work. Thank you very much. And that's a great question. Somebody would have to start showing us where are these debt instruments? Are there promissory notes? Who do we owe? Good question. John Doe, I would agree to federally paid assisted housing for disabled civilians who are employed and disabled combat veterans. Other than that, no. I could agree on that. World peace. If you raise the minimum wage, all prices will follow. Look at California. Simple economics. Mr. Anderson, 35 years, 2 jobs, 70 hours a week, 2 pensions, 401k, started with $100 to my name. Merit-based. Love that. Barry, I started off 18 years ago as a Walmart cashier at $8.35 an hour. I now drive a tractor trailer for Walmart. That's awesome. Gotta give it again. Hold it on. AOC could have had Amazon come into her district. They could give you insurance on day one. Remember, she chased them out of her district. Cutting edge. I worked for 5 years in Western Carriers Total Wine. I get paid $14.50 for 40 hours plus overtime. Now I get $19.57 per hour plus overtime, all in New Jersey, and the rent is $3,000 a month with 3 people, and we can have comfort and more. Proud of you. Rufino Allegre, keep up the great job. So these libs are so fake, only illegals get deported. Mr. Anderson, a lot of tradesmen's jobs, $80,000 to $120,000 in refrigeration. Remember, Kristi Noem was doing those commercials for South Dakota, and all those jobs out there that were paying $100,000 plus. Robert Hubbs, she sounds like Kamala, exactly like Kamala. Ken Romolino, Barry, thank you for sharing your knowledge on real estate and everything else. You've helped me a lot. See, I'm not just saying that, and like one guy said, I was, is this going to be a real estate seminar? No, it wasn't, but maybe it could help you to understand what kind of opportunities are out there. The Jade Slade, Ukraine is spending $1.5 billion to build the ski resort while begging for more money. Crazy. WD, thank you. CAD, yes, Barry, we better buckle up and be ready. The crazy left are evil and desperate, not a good combination. Be ready. Miss Avi, and when I say be ready, there's no downside to that. If nothing happens, nothing happens. Miss Avi, then you still got the pew and the ammo. Miss Avi, but she is a Marxist, isn't she? Yeah, no, she's not. See, that's what the real big thing is. She's not. She's fake. She can't be making the money. I know for a fact because she comes down here when she talks so much crap about Florida and DeSantis. Where was she when she was vacationing? Miami. Oh, with her white boyfriend. You know, she destroys all the stereotypes. Such BS. Intrigue Tech. I went to school and worked 4 part-time jobs. When I had to take out my sister's 2 kids along with my own, I worked 3 part-time jobs and still was involved in their schools. You want it, you can do it. You're making me wear this button out. Mark Hurley. I love the show. I cleaned toilets for 36 years as a school custodian. Retired at 55. Great medical, and I live on the island of Long Island and have been a Dolphin season ticket for over 20 years. Oh, man. Again. I got to keep clapping for these people. Congratulations. Mama C, posting on X, the AOC and Bernie rally had busted poor people in attendance in large numbers, bogus attendance. Oh, yeah, there's another guy, I'll talk about it tomorrow, who did a pinging of cell phones to show you where the people actually came from. Connie Cole, Democrats are just doing election interference. That's all they have. Save the doggos. Whoever said they don't want to be talked to, many of us come here to hear what Barry has to say because we have value his opinion. Want to say something? Buy a super chat. Sometimes I don't get it. Mr. Anderson buying gold, silver, Bitcoin, XRP, stable investments. KRO, there are already limits on SNAP benefits like no cigarettes, no booze. So, in my opinion, say no to soda. Not a necessity, not healthy for kids. Okay. I respect the opinion. Tin Lee, IRC, the Bible gives a guide on how to call out someone's mistakes, and it starts with a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-1, not on blast first. Yep, agreed. DLAT, allowed to purchase. No, except with a SNAP gift. Neil, I just said that one. Yeah, 2 months of Trump in office results show. Where'd that go? Okay. Nathan Hardcastle, Obama did say he was going to fundamentally trans America. We knew he meant to turn us into transformers. I was going to say something about his wife, but I'm going to leave it alone. Trumpinator, they will never take no for an answer, just like a 2-year-old. Susan Donahue, thank you. Another great show. Thank you very much. Beaten Cheeks. I'm not even going to ask you where you got your handle from. Excuse me. They just called for elections in Canada. Our conservative leader looks like he'll win. Why did that happen? I'd love to know why all of a sudden the guy who was named the new prime minister said, you know what, we're going to have elections. Mark Hurley, I want Wally the Nigerian t-shirt. And Carrie J, I think that's it. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I think that's it. Wally the Nigerian. Whew, wow, 3 hours. Man, time flies when you're having fun. All right, everybody, talk to you tomorrow at noon. Let you know now, it's at noon, provided I stay. I'm improving. My voice isn't as bad as it was, so it's doing better. All right, talk to you tomorrow at noon.